Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the Basketball Lounge. My name is Patrick. Listen to episode 38. That's crazy. We've actually gone 38 episodes so far. No Josh this week, but I'm joined by Seth and Steve. Say hi, everyone.
Hey, everyone. He was on too good of a streak.
G'day there, Cobbers. He was indeed.
Was on a bit of a hot streak there, wasn't he? Had to take him down a peg by beheading him.
Possibly
him.
ejecting him from the podcast.
I thought because we're just into the group chat with us three, we just didn't tell him. We changed the time of the recording. That's it. All the best, big fella. He'll show up tomorrow. Where is everybody? I don't know.
It really is so much easier when you keep employees on a contract basis rather than giving them rights as any kind of full-time employee. Am I right, fellas?
What are we, Nintendo?
Exactly.
What are we? Any company that uses contractors?
So
hopefully, me.
Hopefully
we shouldn't
my
make fun of contractors. I'm a contractor.
Well,
funny
we
that.
make fun of you in every episode anyway. Anyway, my mic should hopefully be better this week. I am back in my totally not going to give away my address location.
Rats.
Yeah, almost.
Doxing is Josh's specialty.
It's true. That is why we had to ban him. I had one of those plane flights where pilot says there'll be a few bumps climbing out of Wellington. Well, climbing out of wherever. And
Dox yourself.
Bumps. Well, I mean it's a city of 400,000. Good luck. But actually might be more than that now. Anyway.
I wipe it off the face of the earth.
You can try. But it was one of those bumps through like half the flight, and normally it's fine, right? Like, bit of turbulence here and there. It's basically a roller coaster, but I don't have to worry about being tall enough to ride it, or the same fear of death. But it's one of those because the legroom, I sit in the exit row, and by exit row I mean right up the front. And
Far out. Do you have to pay extra for that?
Normally, yes.
Ooh, did you just sit there and hope no one kicked you out?
No. We had a bunch of travel disrupted by COVID, so we've just been running through the backlog of booking credit.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, but it was one of those. I'm sitting basically across from the two flight attendants on the jump seats, and they're talking, and plane sort of jumping up and down or whatever. But there's nothing more unsettling than when the plane goes through a bit of turbulence, and then the flight attendants stop talking. You're like, uh-oh. Is this the end for old Gil?
Nah, it's fine.
I trust this one man.
As you can hear, I made it. It's fine. But yeah, fun little excursion away. What have you two been up to?
I made myself. Whoop, no, Steph, you can go first. My one's really funny. So
I was just going to say I've actually been up to a lot, but I'll save that for around the lounge.
Oh no. And I have gotten an air fryer, and I tried to make myself some homemade KFC, and I completely fucked it up. I haven't given myself salmonella poisoning, I don't think. It's only been half an hour, but let's see how we go.
Well, the first question, did you find the air fryer on the side of the road? And follow-up question, is it cursed?
One, no, it was handed to me by a delivery man, and two, I don't know. I've only had it. Literally got it yesterday, so I haven't been able to sense any bad vibes off it just yet. But the ghost probably only comes out at night.
Now, you might have fucked up the chicken recipe, but how was the air fryer itself?
Yeah, it's okay. I fucked up the air fryer recipe because I used like little pieces of chicken, and essentially I sort of ran out of room in the air fryer, and I was just using like handfuls of like the pre-diced stir fry stuff because it was on special. And then I was like, well, I've got all this batter and flour and stuff left over, so I just sort of put it in a normal frying pan, and I sort of made myself a weird omelette that's just like very heavy because I soaked it in buttermilk for like 24 hours. That wasn't as funny as what I thought it was going to be, but let me tell you, the chicken I made was very disappointing.
Almost disappointing as the story, but so why was it disappointing? What, you ran out of air in the air fryer?
No, I ran out of fryer in the air fryer. So it was just air. Ha ha ha. No, it's just sort of wasn't crispy enough, and I wasn't sure if it was because I put not enough batter or too much batter on. Like some of the flour mix that I made didn't really sort of set properly, so it was a bit like powdery. I don't know. Yeah, I'll try again. I'll report in next week.
So what it sounds like is that in one half of your air fryer was a bunch of chicken, possibly raw, and in the other half of your air fryer was you accidentally baking a cake.
Yes.
So-
Not wrong in the slightest.
To me,
Some
this
might-
sounds like a skill issue because I've had no problems with my air fryer.
Well, to me, it sounds like we should just revisit the "is it cursed?" because that sounds fucking cursed to me.
Maybe it is cursed now. When you really think about it, it's fucked up when you've got like chicken pieces and you put it in like the fetus of the unborn and you sort of put it in like flour and stuff and hope for the best. Aren't humans the most cursed when you really think about it?
No,
Yes.
it's whatever you touch. That's what's cursed.
Oh, me. Oh, rats.
I don't know.
Oh, well.
I feel like philosophers got to this conclusion a couple thousand years ago. But thanks for catching up, Steve. Right.
Rats.
Probably not too much more to harp on there. Would ask how Josh's week has been, but I'm sure we'll find out tomorrow when he sits in this Discord chat alone and records himself.
We'll
Around
just insert
lunchtime.
his own round of lounge where he does it by himself.
He also gets album of the week because, of course, there is no Josh. Therefore, there is no Josh's album of the
That
week.
was
this
the
week.
one I meant.
Apologies for that. Seth, round the lounge. What have you been up to this week?
I've been up to quite a bit. So we were going to talk about it because we went on a cute little date. But Josh and I went and watched a children's movie, Dragon Ball Super Superhero.
I thought it was the Minions movie.
No, even more childish than that. We went and watched a superhero film.
Together or with children?
Uh-oh.
I refuse to elaborate. I do not want the FBI knocking on my door.
You could just say no. That just saying that makes it seem like it's more sus. You know what? I'm just gonna call them to your house.
No, don't. And I'm not going to get into them this week because we got a lot of news to cover. But
We're still talking about Josh, right?
No, not Josh this time. This is all stuff I've done on my own time. I played a good chunk of Rollerdrome now because that came out at the end of last week. And also Saints Row came out this morning or yesterday night, and I've played about an hour of that. So, yeah, I'll get into those in future episodes when I have a bit more to dig into for them.
Sounds good. Steve, what have you been up to this week? Other than possibly putting salmon in your chicken.
Oh, fuck. I knew you were gonna say giving yourself salmonella. I'm like, oh, it's not salmon. Fuck, man. You're already 3 steps ahead of me, aren't you? Well,
Actually, I'm just 2 hours ahead of you, but, I'll take what I can get.
What's it like in the future? What's the wordle?
You're going to get food poisoning.
Oh, no. Sorry, boss, I can't come in tomorrow. I'm vigorously shooting out my insides. Please do not report me to HR. Anyway, in terms of video games, I have been playing 12 minutes because after
12 minutes of what?
the game is called 12 minutes. Yep.
12 minutes of what?
No, it's just 12 minutes. The game's called 12 minutes.
But what do you do in those 12 minutes?
Well, that's what we'll get into when I talk about the game. Because it's a point-and-click adventure, and as I said a couple of weeks ago, point-and-click adventures is actually wiped off the face of the planet.
Can you lose
Now-
in 12 minutes?
Well,
No,
I guess so.
you just kind of
What do
get
you mean, no?
stuck.
Well, let's save that when I get into it. What have you been doing, Pat?
So someone could say that you've lost the game then.
It's been so
We
long.
really doing the
it's-
game stuff?
It's been 12 minutes really, so it hasn't been too long.
God, you
Okay,
just
I'm
turned
done.
that back around on me, didn't you? You just had to do me like that.
What have you been up to, Patrick?
So I, as I hinted at in the last episode, could not wait to get back to the Casa del Me for all the Spanish speakers out there, playing Cult of the Lamb, which was released back when I was in Wellington, which would have been sometime last week. But I've been playing that for about 5 hours, so slightly more than Seth's Saints Row excursion. And I have some thoughts. Can't wait to get into them. That's basically been it because the rest of it, I haven't been near a gaming computer.
Well, there are
So,
other things you can
little
like.
bit of-
If you had Xbox Game Pass, you could stream with the XCloud. That sounds cool. XCloud, XX. The X makes for extreme.
I don't think either of our countries' internet connections are good for streaming yet.
Probably use mobile data. Get that 5G. Ever since I got that third vaccine, flying. Best internet.
So that explains why you suddenly really like Xbox. I knew that had to do.
I'm a plant.
Yeah, no, I'm sure we'll get into that. Why don't we start with Steve? 12 minutes.
12 minutes.
I'm
All
giving
right.
you 12 minutes for this section.
Okay, that's actually really ridiculous because 12 minutes is a point-and-click adventure in which you have 10 minutes to figure out the puzzle and resolve everything, which, when you think about it, is pretty wild.
Are the extra 2 minutes the end credits?
No, there's a puzzle for it.
Yeah, you want to talk about it, Seth?
No. I've watched
No,
that
but you just
game.
jumped in, man. It's just fine, man. If you want to do it, that's fine. Just take my bit. I'm busy anyway.
No,
Got things to do.
because
I've got
the
video
only
games
thing
to
I'm
play.
going to have to say
Oh
is...
my god, Steve, it's fine. Just take 6 minutes each. Fuck, it's not hard.
I only need
Ooh,
30
5 minutes
seconds
each,
to
'cause
explain why that game upsets me.
You only need 30 seconds for a lot of things, big fella. Am I right, fellas? Am I right, ladies?
No, that's still too long for me.
Okay, right, marathon man, settle down. Okay, so let's rewind. We're going too far. I'm going to label this with like heavy spoiler warning. If you want to play 12 minutes, probably don't listen to this. Skip ahead. No, listen to the podcast. Just skip ahead 12 minutes because we still need those views. 12 minutes takes place in a single apartment. It's a point-and-click adventure, and you're trying to figure out the mystery of why this man is literally kicking in your door, killing you and killing your wife. Like, you're trying to work out what's going on.
And why you're stuck in a time loop for it as well.
Yep, you took the words out of my mouth. Like, because every time you get killed, you rewind 10 minutes, and then you have to you redo it. And you're aware of the character you're playing is aware of the previous loop. It's interesting because despite the gameplay, which I'll talk about, there are 4 voices, pretty much, or 5 if you think the 911 operator. But pretty much 3 voices are held consistently. Like the character that you play is voiced by James McAvoy. Your wife is voiced by Daisy Ridley. And the man coming to kill you is William Dafoe.
Willem.
Oh, sorry, it is Willem. Sorry. Oh, whatever. I've only seen it. It doesn't matter. Willem Dafoe.
The Green Goblin.
The Green Goblin, and not Willem Defriend.
Well, no, because then he wouldn't be kicking in the door.
Maybe he's kicking the door with cake. Happy birthday. So I remember saying, leading up to this, that there was a lot of hype around it because of the cast. Everyone's like, whoa, Daisy Ridley, James McAvoy, Willem Dafoe. What are they doing? They're in a video game. What are they doing? They lend their voices and that's it. The camera is from like a top-down point of view, so you don't really see their face. There's like a peephole where you can sort of see Willem's character, but there's no real features or anything. It's sort of blurry, so it doesn't really matter. And for the most part, their voices are fantastic. Probably one of the best voice acting I've played in a video game, which is really good. And it gets to those like the tense moments. You can really hear it in their voice that it's like these people are not only trained professionals, but they are very good at what they do.
You really think so? Because when I saw it, I thought it was a bit stiff.
Really? Oh, I didn't think so. Maybe. So there are many, because I've gone through I literally, I don't know, how do I frame this? I was pushed forward by this narrative in such a way that it was like, I hated the gameplay because it is essentially a point-and-click adventure, and the puzzles are harder to solve because of the top-down perspective, to the point where it's almost obtuse to the fact you can't see things. that despite all those gameplay choices and how to play the game, the narrative and the voice acting was pushing me forward because I was like, I had to find out what was going on. And I think that was because of half the voice acting was really good. Like if they weren't doing a good job with the voice acting, if it was probably like text-based, I wouldn't have cared so much. Like I literally found myself like, okay, I want to play, do a couple of loops and I'll stop. But I was like, nah. Okay, I know what to do now. One more loop and then one more loop and then one more loop. And it was...
Did you ever hit a wall and feel like you needed to look up a guide? Because
I had to look up a guide twice.
Okay, yeah, because some of those puzzles looks like you'll eventually hit a wall and just kind of be like banging against a loop multiple times until you finally figure out what you're meant to do.
Yeah, and for those, both of the ones that I got stuck on was actually... One of them was because of the top-down perspective. Like, I had to find a vent underneath the medicine cabinet, and I literally couldn't find it. Like, it's like you open the medicine cabinet, and there's like a little gap underneath it to click a vent. I couldn't see that just because of the perspective of the camera being top-down, and then when you do click into it, it gives you like a close-up of the medicine cabinet, and I just couldn't see it. And it was ridiculous.
Yeah, the vent is hidden in like layers upon layers of clicks.
Yeah, and like even to like get the hint about the vent, you sort of like have to hide in the wardrobe and wait for the scene to play out, which I thought was actually really good, and I sort of stumbled upon accidentally. Half of the clues, or probably a good 90% of the clues I found were accidental, but that was just playing the game, going through, interacting with this, saying that to the wife.
Yeah, it's a lot of trial and error and trying to find out what will progress the loops.
What will progress the story? What can I do? What's going on? And that was really good, that trial and error. And maybe it's because of the 10-minute loop, I always knew it was like, okay, I wasn't feeling that punished if I got something wrong and had to redo it. Saying that though, there is no fast forward button. So if I knew if I stuffed up on a key moment that I wanted to do, was like, okay, well, just going to stand around and play on my phone for a bit while I wait for the loop to end.
Or you can try to kill yourself really quickly.
Yeah, I never bothered with it. Like you flick the light on and off. I could never really get it to work except for like once or twice.
You can shove the knife into the broken socket.
Oh, you can also stab yourself as well, and give yourself sleeping pills. That sort of resets it. But I was like, you know what? I'll wait the 3 minutes rather than clicking around because I'd get, and maybe because, okay, to give it even more background context, I was playing this through the magic of the Game Pass because it's leaving on August the 30th. So everybody get in while you can. It is a very short game, about 3 or 4 hours. And I was playing.
Wait. It's not 12 minutes?
No, it's 10. The loop is 10. I wasn't joking when I said that. Oh, no.
It does take more than 12 minutes to finish the game, yes.
Can speedrunners do it in 12?
You could,
probably.
Yes.
Yeah,
probably even faster.
GDQ 12 minutes? Any percent speedrun?
Probably. Oh, glitchless speedrun? Probably. But anyway, so I was playing this with the controller and a pointing, and maybe that's my fault. Maybe with a mouse and keyboard, it's a little bit better. I think having a point and click adventure with the controller does it no justice, especially when like you have to point to a place on the floor to click and you walk over to it.
You're not pointing and clicking at that point, right? You don't have a Wiimote to point and click.
Yeah, exactly. I'm moving a thumbstick to move a pointer on the screen. Like it would be so like much better if using like even the D-pad or the analog sticks to sort of progress in those rooms. I feel would have been like sort of felt a lot better. And then maybe when you're doing like a close-up interaction, you do have the pointer thing that you're controlling with the analog sticks. It just felt very weird. And to be honest, maybe that's my fault because I was playing on a controller. But then at the same time, this is available for everything.
It's on Xbox. It should have controller support properly.
Yeah, it's on Xbox, it's on PlayStation, it's on the fucking Switch.
Also, I am sad to report that the fastest speedrun for 12 minutes is 14 minutes, 23 seconds.
God damn it.
We've got to do it faster, fellas. We can rebuild.
That's so disappointing.
That's pretty shit. But yeah, I ended up enjoying it. I started off really hating it because of the way the game plays, but the narrative drove me to complete it. And do you guys care if I spoil it?
I already know it's a no.
Do you care, Pat?
No.
Okay, so
things to do with 12 minutes.
Well, it takes 14 apparently. So the big thing about this is it turns out you're having a child with your wife, but it turns out your wife is your half sister. And it's the ending is pretty rough because it's like, oh shit, I completely forgot that I killed my father. And it's like, what do you mean you forgot you killed your father? Like, you're literally taking the piss here. And then you have to find a way to sort of escape the time loop. And then there's a bit of magic that happens, and you've sort of just got to either accept the fact that this is fucked up, or
it's been 10 minutes. We got to return to the start of the loop.
Yeah, pretty much. Like you got to accept that you fucked up. And
no. I mean, it's been 10 minutes. We got to return to the start of the loop.
Okay, so 12 minutes is a point-and-click adventure. So yeah, like I enjoyed it. If people like point-and-click adventures, go play it. I'd encourage people to check.
Hang on. If people like point-and-click adventures, they need professional help.
Yes, no, 100%. Like that was literally going to be my second point. Like when they get let out of the facility that they're being held in, maybe they're allowed 12 minutes to play a game.
Man, I'm looking forward to that new Monkey Island game. Just another good point and click adventure game.
You and no one else both, big fella.
There's plenty of people that are interested in it. Some even listen to the podcast.
Okay, it's 2 people.
Did you have to pay to get your room with all those padded walls, or did the government do that for you, Seth?
What do you mean padded walls? It's just white in here. It's concrete. It's concrete that I keep smashing my head against.
Is the point and click adventure on the in the room with us now?
Yes.
You say like smashing your head against. You say about smashing your head against the concrete, and that's what some of these puzzles are. But I at the end of the day, I hated it when I started it. I came away really enjoying it. The ending was fucking weird, but I think it's because they set themselves up in a way that it was like, whoa, batshit insane. Let's just make the ending batshit insane.
Yeah, but the ending goes into the direction of so what happens is you find a clock and you got to turn it back to 12 minutes before the loop will begin, and that's where the 12 minutes comes in.
And it's a 12-minute, which is a fucking...
you find out that this entire thing is just hypnosis from the father trying to convince you to not fuck your half sister.
Oh, no, I didn't get it was a hypnosis thing.
The true ending, I believe, is you going under hypnosis and restarting the loop.
Oh, I don't think I don't think I got the true ending. I got the one where it was like, nah, fuck you, I'm just going to not talk to the girl. But I am going to go back and achievement hunt it because
Bad ending, you're paying child support.
Well, bad ending, you've had a kid with your half sister. Well, big yikes from me. Big Tasmania moment.
You are the child.
I think aren't the bad endings you accidentally kill the father? Or does that restart the loop?
That restarts the loop.
It does, yeah.
Yeah, that restarts the loop. I think you sort of like get into a push and shove match, and before anybody can do anything, it restarts.
Yeah.
But yeah, like for too long didn't read. I enjoyed it. I'm not sure if everybody will enjoy it. If I paid money for this, I'd be pretty burned, to be honest. Like, not just because it's like a short game. I don't really care about that. It's just point and click adventures shouldn't exist in this day and age, at least without some sort of doing something innovative.
Without microtransactions. Yeah, I've been saying that for years.
12 minutes come on a fortnight confirmed.
But see, this is the entire thing of your conversation as well, Steve, because point and click adventures exist to be very interesting narrative games, and that's what you got out of the game, even though it's in a genre that you dislike.
No, that's true, and that's true. I'll wear my point and click adventure hat on that. But at the same time, it doesn't need to be a point and click adventure. Like, just because I could use a cursor didn't really change anything. Like I could literally have just been able to control my character, walked up to something and pressed A, and I would have like, okay, this is the same thing.
Yeah, and there's been evolutions of point and click adventures where they are like more around, but you still have those like, let's just try this key on every single thing until we find out where the puzzle is meant to go. Like, in a sense,
yeah.
Resident Evil, like exploring the mansion, is a point and click adventure.
Well, everything's a point and click adventure. If you really you point your gun at something and you click the button to shoot.
Oh no, I just meant the puzzle aspects of it, not the shoot the zombies part.
All puzzle games are point and click adventures, confirmed.
Yes.
All video games are point and click adventures. You're pointing at something and you're doing something, right? But
if you really think about it, every video game is an RPG.
Yes, a point and click RPG, if you would say. Isn't everything when we work on a computer? Isn't that a point and click? You're pointing your cursor at something and you're clicking on the keyboard. Anyway, it's a good game. It's hampered by the camera thing. Point and click adventures shouldn't exist. Either get it for less than $10, watch someone playing through it.
Yeah, I think it's something you can just watch someone play and you'll get the same out of it, really.
I don't know. The satisfaction of solving those puzzles yourself.
True, but if you're only in a put a narrative, then watching it, I think, is fine.
Yeah, but maybe it's one of those Stockholm Syndrome things because I was thrashing my head against it to try to find the right solution.
Also, if you want to gauge of price, it's currently $36 on Steam.
$36. If you paid it for that, you have rocks in your fucking head.
I thought
no
we were
more than
talking,
10.
Much lower on the old price spectrum, but 36. Eesh.
Yeah, I knew it was like priced around that. I think it was priced around like 50 when it first came out, at least for the Xbox version. And I reckon if you paid that much money for it, fucking rocks in your head. Like it is sort of limited. Like once you've solved the puzzle on how to get there, it's like, okay, like I've finished the narrative, it's done. But yeah, it was on Game Pass. That's why I played it. It's leaving Game Pass August 30th. Probably won't hear it by the time I'm here, but oh well. 12 minutes, 7 out of 10.
Future Seth will whip that up for us. 7 out of 10. Thank you for that.
Actually,
Seth,
no, I changed my mind. It's not a 7. I reckon it's a 5. Sorry, it's a 5.
5 out of 10.
Yeah,
wow,
it's like
whole
okay.
2 points dropped in like the span of 2 seconds.
Nah, I already thought about it. Like the camera angles, some of the puzzles being obtuse, and
the fact it's a point and click game.
Yes, it doesn't do anything different. But yes, 5 out of 10 is good. It's okay. Like,
You'd recommend it to a friend?
Maybe. I would recommend someone experiencing. You know what? I don't know. Possibly, if someone I knew really enjoyed point and click adventures, and it was like maybe less than $10 or $5, I'd recommend it to them.
There might be someone else joining you in that concrete room of yours, Seth.
Please, I'll never be like visitors.
I'll never be saved.
Don't worry, the state government doesn't like it when you get visitors either. Do you still have up the time list up for the speedruns?
No, but I can get it very quickly.
Why? Well, Steve finally finished talking about it at 17 minutes and about 30.
Ah, shit.
Let's say 30 seconds. I'm just trying to see where he's at on the leaderboard with that.
About 11th place.
That's all right.
There's only 12 people on the speedrun at the moment.
12
people speedrunning 12 minutes.
The world record was made 11 months ago as well, for the record.
11 months ago? When did this game come out?
Like a year ago.
December the 7th, 2021. Who got it 11 months ago? Hang on, no. August 19, 2021.
Yeah.
That's the bottom of that mystery.
Sorry.
And it wasn't from top-down perspective and actually, it was a point and click for that mystery. Shit, okay. It's 12 minutes the whole way down. Anyway, thank you for that, Steve. Seth.
Yes.
Which one of yours do you want to hit first?
I'm just going to do Dragon Ball Super this week.
Yeah, okay. Wasn't sure which one of those you were going to delay, but yeah, all right. Dragon Ball Super.
Okay.
Hit us with it.
So Dragon Ball Super Superhero is a very stupidly named movie for the Dragon Ball series, and as the name would suggest, it has superheroes in it. The entire theming of the movie is based around someone wanting to create androids to be superheroes. Um, I I don't know how much of this I want to get into spoiler territory, really. But let's just give a brief overview for now, and I'll give my impressions. So
Spoiler warning.
no spoiler warning. I don't think I'll say anything that isn't in marketing this week. So everything from the marketing would suggest that this is supposed to be a Gohan movie. Like, they
Yes.
really pushed that. Pan gets kidnapped. He's got to step up and rescue her. But that is a lie. This is a Piccolo movie through and through. Piccolo.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, and I think that's really great. Piccolo getting to be the main character of a movie is really refreshing for the series. He's introduced Training Pan early on in the movie, and he's the first one that's attacked by the villains, and that just kind of sets off a chain reaction of him infiltrating their base, finding out their plan, and then going deeper and deeper until he's convinced he needs to spur Gohan into action, and then the villains kidnap Pan, which is what essentially gets Gohan into the action himself. So it follows Piccolo's point of view through the story pretty much the entire time, and it's really unique for that reason alone, and really interesting. It's also the first time they're doing a fully 3D animated movie for Dragon Ball, and I think
in the trailers and stuff. I don't know. It doesn't look very good.
I felt it looked great.
Yeah.
Yeah,
No, maybe it's just one of those things. Like in theaters, it looks a lot better than.
Yeah, no, in theaters it looks really nice.
Okay.
And they do a lot of fun stuff with the 3D as well that they haven't really explored in 2D. Like they do a lot of tracking and weird camera movements that they can do with a 3D camera now. That's typically you'd have to animate around by hand before. So things that would have been a bit more frustrating to do, like you'll get a shot of Goku shooting a beam, and then the camera will like follow that beam around instead of like doing a cut. So
interesting. That
Yeah.
sounds shit.
yes,
I haven't seen it though, so
it does.
it sounds shit.
It's like when the Broly movie that came out 2 years ago did the
Oh fuck, that's a good movie.
Oh, it's so fucking good. It's like when it did the first person perspective where
That was the worst part of the movie.
I thought it was really fun though. I thought that was really it was brand new. It was never done in Dragon Ball before. So the novelty of it alone made me really enjoy that. So yeah, it's just like this movie does a little bit of that sort of like, we're going to play around with what's typical of Dragon Ball, turn it on its head a little bit, try new things, and see how it goes. Just experiment a little bit. And I think it does that really well. The humor throughout the movie is on point as well. It's like consistently funny from beginning to end. There's a lot of...
was it the dub or the sub?
I watch a dub.
Nice.
Yeah.
Based.
I don't mind a sub for Dragon Ball, but I much prefer the dub.
Yeah, that's
And-
like a weird thing in my back of my brain as well. I can't stand the sub.
also-
I think it's just because we've grown up watching it in dub.
Yeah, definitely. I got used to it because of watching Dragon Ball Super week by week when it was...
That's
Oh,
true.
yeah.
I did the same thing.
Yeah.
I
So
hated it,
now I'm used to Grandma Goku. But
Yeah.
also because it's like a large theater screen, I wasn't sure how I'd handle reading subtitles across like that big massive area.
Hmm.
So it's much easier to just tune into like listening to what the dub is saying and keeping track of all the action with my eyes rather than what the subtitles are saying. What else do I want to hit with this? The music's really nice. I don't think it hits like the Broly movie did, because the Broly movie was really weird and experimental with its music as well. Like it had all that chanting going on, like it was chanting characters' names and
Yeah, that's
move
right.
names.
Yeah.
That
That was sick.
yeah, it was so good. This is more like traditional Dragon Ball music, but very, very good music. Yeah. So I'll back up a little bit and go into like plot overview, I guess. Sorry, I'm all over the place with this. I'm like
You expected
there's-
Josh.
yeah, I was expecting Josh to be here to bounce off with me. Yeah, so the movie starts off with the Red Ribbon Army is coming back. They do it like they've shown this before, but there's like a small 5-minute intro of like going over the Red Ribbon Army's history with Goku, how back in original Dragon Ball, he single-handedly destroyed their entire operation. Then in Dragon Ball Z, Jiro and Android 19 come back, then release 16, 17, and 18, and eventually Cell comes back and yeah, everyone has to deal with that, and they cap it off with like how Gohan was the one that defeated Cell. So that's like the big point of hey, this is gonna be a Gohan movie because he was the last one to take care of the Red Ribbon Army. The new leader of the Red Ribbon Army, his name is Magenta in this, and fun fact, he's voiced by Chris Martinet, I think is his name. The voice actor for Mario in the Mario games.
Oh, that's not Chris Pratt.
Yeah, no, not Mario movie, Mario games. Yeah, he does a fantastic role in this as well. Magenta's a really fun character.
I can't believe they made Magenta Italian. That's crazy.
Yeah.
Isn't that a color?
Yes. All the Red Ribbon Army characters are based on colors. Well, the main Red Ribbon Army characters.
That's right, they are too. There's like Commander Blue and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, and I think it was General Red was a leader.
Yeah, that's right. Red Ribbon.
Yeah.
I can't believe they're based on colors. I thought General Blue was just a metaphor.
I thought he was like General Sad.
He was actually very happy and like in love with himself.
Thank you.
Yeah. So yeah, Carmine, his assistant, is also extremely funny. He's got like this weird hobby of making videos for YouTube that gets like 5 views. Where he's spying on the Dragon Ball.
That's crazy. So do we.
he does like this whole production company logo at the beginning of it, like Carmine Productions, edited by Carmine, directed by Carmine. And it's all just videos of him spying on the Z Warriors and Capsule Corp, because the Red Ribbon Army is trying to push this agenda on Dr. Jiro's grandson. He's kind of a primary antagonist in this movie, because he's the one that's going to be making the androids that show up in the movie. But yeah, Magenta and Carmine are convincing him that Capsule Corp is evil, and all their technology, like the capsule technology, the flying cars and spaceships, they can't do that themselves. It's all because they're cooperating with aliens. They've been cooperating with Namekians and Saiyans, and they show him a clip of Trunks fighting Frieza, and because Trunks has a Capsule Corp logo on his jacket, that like gets Hedo, Jiro's grandson, on their side. Like, it makes him believe them that Capsule Corp is evil. So his mission is that he's going to make 2 new androids, and they're going to be superheroes. They end up being Gamma 1 and Gamma 2. Gamma 1's very, very stoic and kind of serious. And Gamma 2's a lot more energetic, more carefree, a lot more personable. Gamma 2's... I liked both the Gammas in this movie. Gamma 2's like the key takeaway because he's more personable, but in the end I ended up liking both of them overall. I think they're both great villains, and Gamma 2 comes up, fights Piccolo, and that's what ends up getting the whole ball rolling for the movie. And yeah, I guess that's where I should stop the plot summary before I start getting into too many spoilers.
That's probably for the best.
Yeah. Yeah, overall, I really, really like this movie. I think it's tied with Broly for me for favorite piece of Dragon Ball media in general. Like, Broly and this hits differently for me. Broly is a lot more of the in-your-face action that I really enjoy about Dragon Ball Z. It's got a lot of spectacle. It's got a lot of high-impact action. The music is like very, very in-your-face, and weird and different, and it kind of gets you into that mood of like this big cinematic fight. And that fight scene in Broly goes for like 40 minutes. It's insane.
I know, how good. No. Is there a similar sort of fight scene in this? Like
there is. There's it once
Nice.
once it gets into the back half, it's just big fight scene. But they pace it out a lot better in this movie. This is more like story focused than what Broly was. Broly was a lot of lore and then go into the big fights. This is more about like building up the characters, making the story make sense, and pacing it out very well. So there's a lot of little fights at the beginning that like build up the tension until you get to that crescendo at the end with the big fights. But everything in between the fights as well is very interesting, very funny, a lot of good character moments. Goku, Vegeta, and Broly are in this movie, but they take a back seat, which I think is perfect for this movie. It didn't. If they were in here, it would have taken away from the stakes that were happening on Earth.
Probably the I win button.
Yeah, literally the I win button. Broly is the I win button in this scenario. So yeah, they have a fun thing going on. They're just put into a background of like, hey, Goku, Vegeta, go fight Broly. You watch because you need to see what it's like to keep your anger in check. Because the first scene you see of Broly is him about to snap, and Goku's like, hold on, yeah, don't do that. If you do that, you're just going to blow up the planet. So yeah, Whis is like, here, watch how Goku and Vegeta fight, so that way you can kind of learn by watching, learn by example. And I'm going to spoil this a little bit. Beerus is fucking hilarious in this movie because he wakes up from his nap. He's complaining about everyone being there, and Broly's friends are along on the planet as well, on Beerus's planet. So he gets introduced to Limo, the little orange alien. And he's like, yeah, I guess you're okay because you're cooking. I'll taste your food. If I don't like it, I'm going to destroy you. And then Chilai, the for lack of better words, the hot green alien. She's coming in. She's coming in. She's got like a big bag of treasure from around Beerus's home, and she's like talking very loudly. Hey, there wasn't a whole lot of stuff, but I think I've got some valuables here. And Limo's trying to get her to shut up, and she notices Beerus, freaks out, and she puts the bag down, and she's like talking to it, like kind of introducing herself, and like, you're Beerus the Destroyer, aren't you, sort of thing. And Beerus is just staring at her in instant crush mode, but in like the way that Beerus would do it, like he's like, oh yeah, I like this one, and Whis makes a joke about, oh yeah, Beerus has a type. It's weird that it hasn't come up before though. And
what a weird thing. Whatever. It is what it is.
Yeah, and that's kind of a small joke that runs through like the Beerus planet segments, but there's like a B plot that takes up like 5 minutes of the runtime. And if you want the conclusion to that B plot, you actually have to stick around to the end of the credits.
How long are the end credits?
The end credits was like 5 minutes. It wasn't that long. Maybe not even that.
I've already wet myself because I drank so much water during the movie.
Yeah, this is also a shorter movie. This is like from beginning to the end of the end credit scene. It's like an hour and a half.
How much you guys pay for tickets?
$23
each.
Yeah, each.
Fucking hell.
Yeah,
Jesus.
tickets were not cheap, but they were more expensive around where you were, weren't they?
Yeah, they're like $30 where I was. That's fucked.
Yeah,
$30 for a movie.
Yeah,
just close my eyes and pretend it's the same.
Just wait for it to come to Netflix later. I think Broly is still on Netflix.
Oh, you got pirated.
Yeah, or Crunchyroll. I think Crunchyroll will end up having it
with ads.
Yeah,
probably you can't even watch the dub for free. Dogs.
I think so because Crunchyroll owns the dub now.
But they're for free members like myself.
Oh,
you won't be able to get the dub.
Yeah,
you know what? I'm putting Crunchyroll on blast. I'm currently watching Haikyuu, that volleyball anime, and because I'm not paying money for it, I have to watch like the free version with ads, which is fine. I don't mind the ads. I just play on my phone, do other things. The ads is literally Xenoblade 3. I get 3 ads for Xenoblade 3 at the start, the middle, and the end. And I'm like, okay, I'm fucking sick of this. It sort of got me hyped for Xenoblade 3. And then I'm like, I'm fucking sick of it.
I need to check out Xenoblade 3 at some point, but I want to play 2 first. And fucking hell, those are like 100-hour long games. Fuck that.
Yeah, I think I put like 90 into number 2 and like probably 80 into number 1.
Yeah, I think I did like 80 to 90 in number 1.
Yeah, I think it was like towards the end. I'm like, you know what, fuck this. I'm just going to be very underleveled for the final boss.
Yeah. I think I did the same thing for number 1.
Yeah.
There was like that
20 hours
whole
of grinding.
Save Colony
Fuck off.
9 section, and I was like, no, they can get fucked.
Yeah, all the best, big fella.
But
You
yeah,
gotta play that remake.
I had a remake as well, and they have like that whole extra chapter at the end of the remake.
Yeah, that's right, yeah.
Which thankfully you don't need to play the entire game to do. You can just load into that if you've played the original before. Anyway, this is Dragon Ball. Out of 10, I'd give this like a between an 8 and a 9. Probably leaning more towards a 9 than an 8. Yeah, I'll stick with 9 out of 10. I really enjoyed it. The humor throughout was very funny. The fact that it's a Piccolo movie gives it extra points. Pan is the most adorable little shit in this movie as well. She's super cute. Gohan's great as well. He's really funny. The Gammas were great. It's just a very good movie all around. I had a little bit of a complaint, but that's more for spoiler territory, so maybe I'll get into that next week with Josh.
Right.
Neat.
Fair enough. Cool, thank you for that, Seth. I guess I will round out Round the Lounge with some Cult of the Lamb chat. So, Cult of the Lamb came out, sort of have it up, 12th, which was 12 days ago. Cool, did come out 12 days ago. One of the ones that we talked about many episodes ago, published by Devolver Digital, which I saw the trailer for and went, I want it. And then
Yeah, I was also in that same boat. I was thinking about buying it myself, but I bought Rollerdrome instead because that was also around the same time, and both those games looks fantastic.
So, it is 37 with 36 New Zealand. So translate that into whatever currency you want. With I think there's optional DLC already, which I ended up picking up just because I'd already committed, but. Let me give you the highlights. So, all up, I would say it's an 8 out of 10. You're thinking, shoot, that's kind of low for a game that seems fairly well hyped. So let me get into that.
That's why we do the ratings at the end.
Well, I just want to do it slightly different. You know,
okay, that's fine.
Put it. We'll see how we go.
Got to build up the drama.
Right, but I bet you're wondering how I got to that 8 out of 10. Stick around to find out.
Okay, that was good.
You need to do like the Mr. Beast thing. Like, I gave this game 8 out of 10. Right, so it is a weird car crash of a game between satanic, I guess, like cultisms and what I perceive Animal Crossing to be. And I say perceive because I've never actually played Animal Crossing myself, but I feel like from all of the...
Tom Nook will break your knees if you're late on rent.
I mean, realistically, what's the difference between Tom Nook breaking knees for rent payments and you sacrificing a cult follower to the god of the undead?
Absolutely none. That's why I'm saying your comparison makes total sense.
Perfect. Already on the money with that one. Sweet. So the biggest highlight that I can give this game, the whole visual package, or the whole like the design of the game is just awesome. I love the feel of it. I love the sound. Like, the soundtrack is actually just awesome. I'm not even going to call it voice acting because I don't know if it's human voices or not, but the sounds that the characters make in the game is very unique and enjoyable and fits perfectly within the context of the world. The follower kind of designs are great. So I'm trying to think if there's a nice way that I can summarize the game. You die, and then you are saved from death by a god called the One Who Waits, and he says, "I have spared you. Go start a cult in my name, and free me from the underworld." And then you, being a little lamb with this absolutely sick hat that you've just been bestowed by the god of the underworld, go.
Honestly,
Okay.
it was good enough that he just revived me by giving me a hat. Sure, why not?
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. And so the whole thing plays out in the Animal Crossing sense of you need to build up. It's kind of like base building this cult. You need to kickstart this cult, and you need to see how quickly you go from. Basically, I think, because I haven't actually finished, I've only put 5 hours in. I think the end goal of the game is to get tax exemption status from the local government. I think that's where we're trying to get to. With you start the cult, and then it turns into a religion, and then you get the mega church, and then you get a private jet. I think that's the game progression. It's a little bit unclear. I'm still figuring out some of the mechanics. But you have to recruit people into the cult, and so you go on little dungeon crawlery crusades to find followers, defeat enemies, collect resources, that sort of thing, and then you bring them all back, indoctrinate your followers into the cult, and then they become little sort of worker minions that you give them tasks, and then they go around and do stuff. But it's cool in that every character that you indoctrinate, you can customize fairly heavily. Like, I was surprised how heavily you could customize them. They have a couple traits that are randomly assigned from a select pool of traits, but you can shape them after a bunch of different animals, swap up the name, swap up the color. It's not crazy Saints Row character creation screen or anything, but it does allow for a lot of nice variety, and so I ended up looking through this and not even having to adjust my first follower, because my first follower was a narwhal, and so I went, yes please, I'll take that. And sadly, actually, as of the, I guess probably 4.5-ish hour mark of me playing through, the narwhal died. Died peacefully. I assume in their sleep, which obviously then becomes a bit of a burden for the other followers, because there's now a dead narwhal lying around, and you have to figure out what to do with that. And I mean, it's perfectly good meat, so why wouldn't you harvest it and then turn that meat into food for your other followers? And we slowly crawl towards the tax exemption status. So the overall package of the game, phenomenal, absolutely just top notch. It's the thing that immediately sold me on it. The soundtrack, absolutely banging. Gameplay is a little hard to quantify, and what I mean by that is I haven't played Animal Crossing, so I assume people that really like Animal Crossing will really like the base building side of this game, but that typically isn't. Those typically aren't the sorts of games that I really get into. I prefer the Monster Hunter, surprise, surprise, style of thing of you kind of do upgrades to make your life easier. Whereas Cult of the Lamb, it prioritizes base building to make your base better, which gives indirect benefits to you. Like, you get better upgrades and that sort of thing, but it's only tangentially related to the gear that you use when you're actually doing the combat side. And so the combat side, it's loosely taken me between maybe 10 and 20 minutes for a run, in air quotes. And I think this is the biggest downfall of the game, in that I expected Cult of the Lamb's, we'll call it the combat side of the loop. There's the base building side and the combat side. I expected the combat side to be kind of Hades-esque.
Yeah, that's how it looked in the trailers and the footage I've seen.
So Hades and Binding of Isaac. It's probably actually close to Binding of Isaac.
That's a better comparison.
Yeah, Binding of Isaac. And it is close to Binding of Isaac in that you randomly walk into different rooms, and then at the end there's a boss and that sort of thing. The problem is there's no so I'm playing on medium because that was the developer recommended difficulty, and I can't be bothered making it more of a challenge for myself for the sake of it. But the problem is you don't get to an end goal or I'm really trying to think of how to summarize this. If you start a Binding of Isaac run, if you are godly and you've never and you're starting on a fresh save, there is a chance that you beat the Binding of Isaac run, right? You make it all the way down and take out Mother. Cult of the Lamb will artificially stop you once you get through the first, let's say, world, and it just goes, "Good job, you won," and then it shoves you back to your base to continue upgrading. And the problem with that mechanic is that you fairly quickly kind of figure out all that there is in each of the levels. So each level is kind of run by a boss, basically. And I have made it to the second of what I'm presuming to be 4 or 5 worlds. So I've already gone through the first one. I'm on the second one, and at least through the first world, I had to beat it 4 or 5 times before I got to fight the boss of that world. But each of those 4 or 5 runs was basically the same thing. And that would be fine if it was me, trying to push towards getting to a higher level like in Binding of Isaac or in Hades. But it sort of feels a little bit underwhelming to give you the congratulations, you've made it type gameplay experience, and then pushes you back to the base building side. And there's 2 problems, and I'll let you guys jump in if you have any questions. And that the first problem with it is that there's no... So in Binding of Isaac, if you get really good and you have a bunch of stuff unlocked, you start building a run, right? And then you get a few items and you're like, oh, this is the run. I'm feeling really powerful because of the collection of stuff that I have here. And Cult of the Lamb doesn't commit hard enough to that, because there are RNG cards that will augment abilities and weapons and stuff, and they're really cool. Some of the effects are really cool. But they're also not specific enough that I could collect, because I've done maybe, 8 runs at this point. I could collect maybe 4 cards in a run, maybe, and those 4 cards will have very little to do with each other. They will all be nice bonuses, but there's no kind of overarching run style, which I'm missing, which I really enjoyed getting into, like in Binding of Isaac or like in Hades. And the other problem is that there's constantly a time-based mechanic rolling over in the background, in that your cult is sort of runs on a day-night cycle, which I guess is to somewhat be expected, but it means that quite a lot of the things that you as the cult leader can do are limited to once per day or once per 20 day-night cycle. And so because this is constantly ticking over, on one hand, I understand why it keeps shoving you back into the base, but the problem is you end up getting into these weird situations of, I spent, I think, 4 or 5 days. I'm on day 15 or day 16-ish, plus or minus a couple, in the game at the moment. And I spent maybe 4 or 5 days in one solid block just doing base stuff. Even though I wanted to go back and do combat stuff, there was just always so many things that needed my attention on the base side. And so because there's no pause or no nice way to break those 2 pieces apart, it can get really easy to just leave one of them behind. And that, I suspect, if I did that, would end up biting me in the ass in some way later on. Does that all make sense?
Yeah, no, I completely get it. And yeah, I feel like getting booted from those combat levels would get frustrating, honestly. Like just hearing you talk about it and like getting to what they perceive is an end of the run is like, no, I won. I kind of want to keep going if I know there's more to do. Like, I'm imagining playing Hades or Binding of Isaac and like clearing a floor, getting to like the first major boss. And it's like, you did that. Now go back to the beginning.
But is it one of
you can go to the next segment, and it's like that would make those games way more frustrating to play.
For me, it would be if you're like on a really good roll, having a good run, and then like you're not expecting it. It'd be like, oh shit, like Whiplash. Is that sort of what it feels like?
Well, because the thing is, there's no real good concept of a good run, right? Because you're only so. That's why it's like real hard to try and sort of summarize what's actually going on. So it's like actually it has a lot in common with Enter the Gungeon as well. I don't know if you guys have played that much, but
I have not played that one.
I have not played that either.
Okay, we'll continue with the Binding of Isaac references, but I haven't played that. I've played Enter the Gungeon more recently than Binding of Isaac, so I don't.
I have not played that either.
well, you're not helping, Steve, but the Binding of Isaac references might be incorrect for the analogies I'm trying to draw. But it's not so much whiplash, and it's not so much you run a good run. It's that for like a particular flaw in a Binding of Isaac run, that's it. That is the level that you're playing through. The game will let you sort of pick the next couple paths or whatever, but as soon as you get to the boss room, you fight a mini boss, and then if you fight the mini boss 4 times, you fight the actual boss of that level, and then the run's done. Either you're dead, or you fought that mini boss, or if you fought the mini boss 4 times, you get the main boss, and then it kicks you back. And your inventory when it kicks you back is you'll have one primary weapon, one kind of curse weapon, which is basically just like a magical spell, and any kind of they call them tarot cards, any kind of basically ability augments of, you know, like extra health or more damage or poison on hit or that sort of thing. That's it. That's all your run can be. So you don't really get the sense of, you don't really get a feeling of, oh, I'm on a really good run, because to get a good run only requires 2 things of, is the weapon good? Is the curse good? And more often than not, they are. Like all of the weapons feel pretty good. And the combat, by the way, the combat feels really crisp. I really like the combat. It's just not like, I want more. I want more of it. And it might be that I'm just doing the easier levels and that there will be more of it, or the runs will be longer as I continue to play. But for the first sort of 5 hours at least, it definitely feels very much like the main crux of the game is the base building, and the combat is secondary. But it's just a bit difficult for me because the story is alright. Like I'm
Just Satan's story.
I'm moderately interested in seeing. I'm predicting a twist. I'll say that from the outset. I'm predicting there will be some choices or something to twist that will affect the ending that I get later on. But I think, fairly easily pick out where the story's going to go. So that's not going to be the thing that draws me in. And the base building is fine, but as I say, I'm not a big Animal Crossing guy. I much prefer the Hades and the Binding of Isaacs and the Gungeons.
You keep saying base building, and I keep thinking of RTS. Is that correct?
I was thinking more of like building up a village.
Yeah.
Like a hub world type of thing. Ah,
yeah,
okay. Yeah,
so it's like you have to build a temple, and so you collect resources to build a temple. Okay, you've now built a temple. You can now conduct like rituals and sermons and things in that temple. And the whole thing is you're basically collecting more resources to build up the base more. And so you'll indoctrinate a follower, and then you'll be like, okay, follower, go and chop down some wood, chop some trees for me to collect some wood. And then another follower, and you'll be like, go and collect some stone for me. And so it's kind of like RTS Villager style thing.
Yeah, okay. So it's sort of like halfway between like a hub world type of thing and halfway between like an RTS or your base belonging to us.
Yeah. And so the problem is, because you have this constant day-night cycle where the villagers will only work during the day normally, you can like wake them up and make them work overnight, and then they hate you. But, you know, you got to do what you got to do. It all feels like it's in service to the building the base side, but the building the base side, they give you upgrades of, you know, like, oh, now you can find these weapons when you do crusades and stuff, but it always feels like the base stuff comes first, and it's annoying.
Yeah. It sounds like it's one of those things that like it triggers the numbers go up part of the brain. Is that true, or is it just sort of frustrating to get those numbers to come up?
It's because it's time-based. I
guess so. Oh shit, I've missed it. Or it's like stress and then you miss it anyway. It's like, okay.
Well, it's not the stress side. It's just like the little 8-year-old Zoomer brain in me is like, like hack and slash crusade times the fun. And then in the base building, it's like, okay, I need to wait for a follower to pray enough that I get enough like prayer resource to upgrade something. Or I need to hold, I'm playing with a PS4 controller, hold X long enough to build something that I'm just basically doing nothing for like a minute while I'm building something to do something else. So it's like Zoomer Brain happy on one side, Zoomer Brain sad, like ADHD on the other side. And it's just a bit too split, which is a shame. So that's why I give it an 8, because if it was based on the graphical packaging, easy 10 in my book. I love the styling and everything, but the gameplay elements themselves aren't new, and in most parts are done better by other games. So it drags it down a little bit.
I was actually going to ask if, after getting all of this off your chest, if that actually affected your score at all.
Nah. Well, I went into it saying it'd be an 8 out of 10.
Cool.
I'll check back in next week, because maybe like what I want to happen is I'm on level 2 out of a perceived 5 levels based on like the locked doors and stuff that it's given me.
Based on what? Nothing.
If the next 3 levels actually expand on the combat side, it would go up in score in my book. If it's the same combat system just with a different skin for a world, 8 possibly might even drop to a 7, just because if I get fatigued on it, then I get fatigued on it. But for $36, I still would recommend it. It's still above a 5. I definitely would recommend it to people, but just bear in mind
better than 12 minutes.
Just bear in mind that the base building side is the focus. So if you like Animal Crossing and you like satanic cults and tax exempt status, you'll love this game. But if you're thinking that the trailers show you something that looks like Binding of Isaac, it looks like it, and it plays a little bit like it, but it doesn't lean hard enough into it for it to really be a good comparison.
For some reason, I think it's on Game Pass. Is that correct, or am I having a boomer moment?
You may be having an Xbox boomer moment.
Rats.
It's been out for 12 days, so I don't know.
Cult of the Lamb. I can only type if I'm saying it out loud. Whoops, Cult of the Lamb. Xbox Game Pass. No, I can buy it. Okay,
really?
sorry.
Even after that stellar review, you're still not
so
buy it?
well, what's the one thing I always say about paying full price for video games?
That you should do it when people on Fast Travel Lounge tell you to do it.
That's exactly what I said. It's only $24 for me.
Man.
Actually, no. This is America. This is American. Never mind.
I was going to say New Zealand dollar ain't doing so hard if it's only 24 for Australians. But yeah,
it's $37 for us Australians.
Wow, get wrecked.
We're getting shafted.
Yeah, if nothing else, look at the pretty images and listen to the banger soundtrack. But that's all I have to say about that. I guess that concludes Round the Lounge for this week. So thank you for everyone's discussions. Always a good time. Which means we get to move on to part 2 for this week, which is of course the news. And kicking off the news, we have some Unreal Engine news about a possible D&D virtual tabletop system being developed. Do we finally have the the tabletop simulator killer? Is that what's finally happening here?
Tabletop simulator pivot. It'll just lose its D&D sort of focus, which is good. People have been asking for this. Nay, I say demanding for this for ages. Like,
yeah, like what Steve said. It won't kill Tabletop Simulator. Tabletop Simulator's got way too much to ever be killed off completely. But no,
like
this
voice
is
acting.
Yes, like voice acting. Wizards of the Coast, small indie studio that can't afford voice acting. But no, this is it. This is really cool. People have been wanting a digital official way to play D&D for so long, and it's about time they delivered. And Unreal 5 is a very good engine to build it off.
I'm very surprised they didn't do something like this during the pandemic. Like, they would have gone fucking mental. Like, people would have been throwing money at them during the pandemic, but obviously wasn't to be. Maybe next pandemic. They're getting ready for it.
To be fair, I don't think there was a rush. People throw money at D&D in general. Like, Wizards of the Coast are not bleeding money at all. They make so much money just off D&D merchandise and Magic the Gathering.
That's true.
Well, this was an article brought to our attention by PC Gamer, and the interesting take on this that the article mentions is that it opens up the possibility that in future you buy a pre-made campaign with like the digital side ready to go, which I think is a cool idea, in that you then get this probably start in person with the squad, with the homies, and then after that first session you can continue it online if it's hard to meet up, because I know that a lot of my attempts at D&D die after perhaps the second or third session just because scheduling's a bitch.
It's almost like if people have things going on in their other lives. Yeah, I've recently joined 2 D&D groups. One of them's already falling apart, and the other we've had to reschedule. But that is what it is.
Yeah, and
If
it's also
only there
worth
was a way
noting.
to play it virtually.
Speak at the same time, fellas.
It's also worth noting that they're saying that the virtual play space is meant to look like the miniatures, not like make a proper virtual D&D space, which I think is like the proper way to go about this. Make it look like you're playing on the board rather than like make a D&D adventure sort of thing. You want this as close to the real experience as possible.
So the real question is, what's Meta's take on this?
Who cares?
Who's Meta? Like Meta Knight?
Well, I'm just saying, like, if we're looking at trying to represent a table with some miniatures on it, I feel like that's exactly what Meta's been trying to pour billions and billions of dollars into building. And they're almost
Meta is
there.
in like Facebook. Okay, I'm with you.
Yeah.
I
and
thought
they're
they were
almost
pouring
there,
millions and millions into trying to make you buy things and pretend that you're out in virtual areas, but you're really at home.
So you're close, Seth. It's actually billions and billions rather than millions and millions.
You're
But
right.
other
How
than
could
that-
I be so stupid?
Yeah, I mean, it's only a factor of 1,000. So little a column A, little a column B.
It's only a couple
Anyway.
of dollars. It's at least $3.
True. Oh well. I mean, I think we both know what I'm talking about when I say that it's more than at least $7.
It's more than I'd pay for Dragon Ball The Breakers.
And that's the real test. Next up on the list, we have the announcement of 2 Star Wars books.
Yeah.
Books, what is this, a
why-
nerd
why is-
podcast?
Yeah. Why is this in the news docket? Who put this in here?
I put this in here because they're related to the Star Wars Jedi series, which is a it's a series now, but Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order was a game that came out a few years ago. I really like that game. I think it's one of the better Star Wars games. Up there with The Force Unleashed for me. And yeah, so there's going to be 2 books. One of these is just an art book for the sequel that's coming out. That's going to be releasing in May. But they're also releasing a interquel book in March, which will be just telling the story of what happens between Fallen Order and Jedi Survivor. This book's going to be called Jedi Battle Scars. So if you want to know what happens between the events of the games, then go ahead and pick up this book, or find out the story summary through your own means.
Go
I
through
think it's wild.
Wikipedia.
I think it's wild that there's an assumption that there's an overlap between Star Wars fans and people who can read.
You'd be surprised. So many people bitch about not getting their books in the Disney Star Wars universe.
Yeah, the extended universe, the extended canon, whatever bullshit they're going on about. Some of those books are good. I used to read the Obi-Wan teenager books. Those are pretty funny.
I know there was
Not
a whole
good,
series.
not good. They were pretty funny.
I also know there was a whole series about following Luke after the events of Episode 6 and going into like how his family continued.
Oh yeah, but those aren't canon anymore.
Not anymore, no.
Probably for the best.
I don't know, Episode 8 makes me think it's for the worse.
You know what? You're probably right. That's okay then. Better luck next time. Let's try for another trilogy.
Let's just retcon the sequels.
Right. Well, to those that enjoy reading, Godspeed. I don't know.
You don't know how to move on from that one.
Well, I'm just trying to think, like, just given how, other than the Star Wars Jedi, like, basically other than the Fallen Order game, just how Star Wars announcements and what basically everything that Star Wars announces, other than Jedi Fallen Order, even then it had a rocky launch, and what fans end up receiving generally ain't too hot. So you want to combine this with reading? Good luck. Have fun. Anyway, next up on the list, we have a Valkyrie Elysium demo version being leaked.
Valkyrie.
That's what I said. Leaked on
Is
the
it?
PSN?
Yeah, it's just someone's looked at the PlayStation Network site, found that this has been updated in there somewhere. Got some pretty pictures to go along with it, like the title screen cards and everything. No dates yet. Just we know it's on the store and it'll be coming at some point in the future. A lot of people were hoping that this would get announced at Gamescom. That just happened today, but that was unfortunately not the case.
So hang on, so it's not out yet. This is just leaked. It's just rumors.
Not rumors. It's going to happen for sure.
Okay,
but
rumors,
yeah, it's going to happen. So keep an eye out for it.
Cool. Next up on the list, actually, Seth, you can probably, I mean, you're intimately familiar with old buddy, old pal Jason's tweets. You want to run us through this one?
I don't know. I'm blocked. What does it say?
Oh, okay. Let me give you the snippet.
Okay, so this is Jason Schreier as well. We should. It's just some random called Jason.
I mean,
He's talking about.
It's a very
Starlink.
uncommon name. There's like, well, I don't know, 2 Jasons in the world of Twitter.
I mean, I know like maybe like 2 or 3. So I mean, how many more could there be really?
Maybe 4. There's probably a lot of like Jay hyphen son, as in like they're son of Jay.
No, but the sun is like the star, like SUN.
The only Jason in my heart
true.
is the Jason from Heavy Rain.
Jason?
Well, maybe it's Jason like JEIGHSON.
That is an affront to God, and I will not have that.
That's probably a Wordle. That's probably tomorrow's Wordle.
Joke's on you, Sep. He's already blocked you.
Damn it! Not again.
he got there first. Anyway, old buddy, old pal Jason has the scoop for us. The highly anticipated Star Wars KOTOR remake has been moved from Texas-based Aspire? Asper?
Yeah, I think it's Aspire.
Yeah. Fucking just spell things normally. Jesus Christ, people. Media to Saber Interactive Studio in Eastern Europe. Which I almost want to say there's like some sort of It's Coming Home joke in there, but I can't think of one. Just thinking of like Europe and I don't know.
I don't think it's even coming home because it was a BioWare game, wasn't it? KOTOR?
Yes. It is BioWare.
You're right. Yeah. No,
that's why it's so good. Actually, hang on, is it BioWare or is it Obsidian? No,
was it Obsidian?
BioWare did KOTOR 1.
Yeah, and then Obsidian did 2.
2, and BioWare gave Obsidian like 12 months to do it. And that's why like they had to use like the same engine and reuse a lot of assets, and a lot of the ideas had to be shelved, and there's like a shit ton of cut content.
This sounds awfully familiar to Fallout 3 and Fallout New Vegas.
Maybe BioWare aren't the good guys.
Maybe Obsidian should be treated better.
Maybe Obsidian are the bad guys. They deserve everything they get. Yeah, cool. It's a shame about. It's a shame what's going on at the moment with them.
Yeah, the situation that we talked about with Aspire a few weeks back sucks, but it's good to know that the game's going to be moving forward with someone else and not be stuck in development hell.
Yeah.
So yeah, good news for people that were excited for KOTOR.
Well, it was supposed to come out like next year, and now it's like saying 2025. That's rough.
Yeah. Did it say it's going to be in 2025 now?
Well, that's what they said in the old story. I'm not sure what it says in this story.
I thought the old story said it was delayed indefinitely. Like they didn't know when it was going to be coming.
Well, don't ask me for source.
Yeah.
According to old buddy, old pal Jason, they say that there should be no delays. However, they also never had a release date, so can't delay what had never been announced, I guess.
Yeah, I guess so.
Exactly.
Just because this was a tweet from Jason Schreier, the What's Happening tab on Twitter, at least for my recommendation block, I never fucking use Twitter, is quite funny.
Same.
Number 1, Ukraine marks Independence Day under the threat of heightened Russian aggression. Number 2, a troubled Star Wars video game remake shifts to a new studio. Number 3, Dota 2. Just as a trending. Apparently Dota 2 is trending. Woohoo.
I think the internationals are on, or some sort of tournament.
The international qualifiers are starting soon, but there's also announcements for the, I think it's 7.32 gameplay patch, but I have been, sorry, let me start that again. Hi everyone, my name is Patrick, and I've been Dota 2 free for about 8 months now.
Hi Patrick.
Only 8 months. And it looks like you're back on. I know you're back on.
You just go to Alcoholics Anonymous and someone's like, I've given up drinking for a month, and you're like, pussy.
Yes.
What a bitch of a number.
Come back in.
Real people would give it up for 6 years. Fucking moron.
Real people don't drink at all.
Stephen
Real
is not
people
a
just get high on
supportive
life.
Stephen is not a supportive friend.
Based.
Never
give
good
you-
enough for him.
They give you that little coin token thing as like a sign of like commitment to staying clean, and you go and you go and like see how many McFlurries you can buy by handing it to the like minimum wage cashier behind the counter.
All right, fellas. They have creme brulee McFlurries at McDonald's. I had one last week. It's pretty good.
That actually does sound very nice. Creme brulee is a really good flavor.
It is. It's very nice. But anyway, we've gone off topic too much for this.
Yeah, I won't be covering the gameplay patch unless it's got something absolutely wild that I hear about.
Will you go back to it? Will you go back to Dota Bar?
Very unlikely. Very, very unlikely. I would say I've never felt happier. That's a complete lie.
There's a direct correlation between the podcast starting and Patrick not playing Dota.
That's weirdly true, actually. I do intend to watch the international because I always really enjoy watching it. Like, it's still a fantastic spectator sport because I've got so many thousands of hours that I know what's going on. But I'm kind of glad that I've finally grown out of the phase in my life for all of 10 years of playing Dota 2. Or nearly 10. Anyway,
How many hours you got?
might as well just pull up the official one. Steam's still running in the background.
He's actually pulling it up.
Yeah, Jamie, pull that up. What do we got? 3,589 hours.
Jesus.
And the sad part is, of the people that played consistently, I'm one of the lowest play times. At least in my
good
friend
point.
group.
You probably are. Yeah, I've
Like,
definitely
of-
seen worse.
Of my friend group, I mean. What do we got? Yeah. One of my mates, 8,500. Another random mate. Actually, I got someone. Is he playing it now? No, he's got, oh my god, 13,614 hours.
13,000.
13. Okay, that's it. How much is it? 13,000 hours in days. What the fuck? I've never seen anybody play 541 days. That's nearly 2 years. Jesus Christ. Whew.
Yeah. Anyway,
Yeah, that's what it is, I guess.
the typical group that I did play Dota with all had play times between, I think the next highest above me was about 5,000 hours, and then going all the way up to about 8,500. So yeah, that's what I say. I feel hashtag blessed that I've only spent 3,500 hours.
I got
of
out
my life in
early.
it.
I only have 89.5.
Wow, what did you, like, not even finish the tutorial? Did you get filtered by bots?
No, I got filtered by a friend getting mad at me for only playing one character.
Was it Dragon Knight? I played one game and I was Dragon Knight.
I liked playing Drow Ranger.
I don't know why I asked. I don't know who
Did
that
you
is.
really feel like Dragonite, Steve?
I played one game. We got flogged, and I got sent some very red hot messages, so I stopped. Rightfully so, I'll say, but I was not very good. I jumped straight into a match. I didn't even bother.
Yeah, that's the trial by fire.
I missed a call, got called out for it for half an hour. I called out that friend that was going off at me for half an hour for missing his call. He did not let me hear the end of that for the rest of the day, so I just quit the game.
Filtered.
One of my mates, he's more of a League guy than a Dota guy. I don't think he's played either much recently. But back in the old high school days, he sunk way more hours into League than he did Dota. And then he sees me and a bunch of people playing Dota, and he's like, "Oh, you know what? Played Dota a bit, gave it up, but kind of want to see what it's like now. Kind of want to see where the meta's at." So downloads it, gets into a game. Game goes for 2.5 hours.
Jesus Christ.
Whew.
I almost got back into League of Legends when they added that character that was heavily inspired by Devil May Cry.
Which, Scythe dude?
No, it was a pirate lady.
Pirate lady?
I will have to look her up.
What, Misfortune?
No.
She was one of the OGs.
Yeah, no, it wasn't Misfortune. Give me one
Pirate
moment
lady.
while I look for her.
there's someone absolutely screaming at the recording at whatever they're listening to this on, going, "It's this person." But
that's where the magic of editing and cutting to the answer comes in.
Yeah, but you're gonna keep this in.
Oh yeah, totally.
You're
This is
gonna
the
make
best
them work
part.
for it. Yeah.
It's a rampant search. Samira.
Never heard of her.
Isn't that the person from Overwatch?
I am sending a picture, but no, she was heavily inspired by Devil May Cry to the point that they have the Devil May Cry ranking system in her attacks.
Huh. She must
I don't know
be,
why I bothered.
like, newish.
This is a great audio medium.
I mean, it's in the chat, so I can put it into the video version.
Right. Anyway, yeah. So
How do we get here?
long story short, mate goes, "Oh, Dota 2 looks fun. I should download it and try it again." Game goes for 2 hours, and then he goes, "You know what? Dota 2 is not for me." Then uninstalls it again. I think that was his last game. I don't think he's played since. Oh, we played customs. He and I have played customs a bunch since, but yeah. Anyway, moving back to actual news.
Man, what a
Disgaea-
tangent.
Disgaea 7 announced for PS5, PS4, and Switch.
Yeah.
Really? Is that how you pronounce it? I've always been pronouncing it Disgaea.
I thought it was Disgaea.
Oh. All right then.
I'm not going to say I'm an expert on it. That's how I think it's pronounced. But yeah, no.
Whatever.
Well, hang on. Well, no, there's an easy way to fix this. How many Gaia Gears have you played?
0.
0. I bought them all recently though.
Oh. Add
Alright,
to
so
that
you have more of
backlog.
an investment into this than Steve has. Would that be correct, Steve?
Yeah. Well, yeah, I have 0 investment. I don't care.
Yeah,
I
okay.
sleep. I sleep, as they say. So I thought you were asking Seth.
So, Seth, how did you pronounce it?
I pronounced it Disgaea.
Disgaea. Oh, I think that's how I pronounced it too. Actually, yeah, that is. You said something different just before. What the fuck?
Yeah,
Oh,
no,
no.
you did.
Yes,
No,
you did. You
you
said
did.
I've always said Disgaea. I think you said.
No, I said Disgaea.
I said Disgaea. I just introduced it as Disgaea, and then Steve went, "No, I thought it was something else," and then you said, "I thought it was
Disgaea.
Disgaea."
No, I'm pretty sure I said Disgaea. This is.
Oh,
Yeah.
Future Seth's gonna have a ball with this one.
Future Seth will put this in.
I
Can we-
was about to say.
I'm
that
having a
because you
stroke.
have- because you have the most investment in it. Your way of saying it is now canon, but your way of saying it is my way of saying it. So I guess my way of saying it is canon. Do you know what I
We
mean?
can be canon together.
Well, hang on. I don't know about in Australia, but in New Zealand that means something very different.
I'm pretty sure it's a soul binding contract here too.
Jokes on you.
Well-
I have partially red hair. I have no soul.
Damn. You know what? So do I actually.
Shit. Now we can have partially no soul together. Fuck.
You guys
Anyway.
have red hair.
Returning to the news for the second time in 4 minutes. I don't really care about Disgaea, I'll be honest. Seth, I hope you do because you've put monetary investment into this.
I do. Not enough to go through this entire article. This is. I didn't realize they gave this much information for the game already. Because last I checked, they only just announced the game. Anyway, Disgaea 7, like Patrick said, coming to PlayStation 5, PlayStation 4, and Switch. Only announced for Japan at the moment, going to be coming January 26th next year. I'm assuming a Western release will be a few months after that. I'm also assuming that Nisa is going to be the one that localizes it. Nisa, I beg of you, please do not just do the Switch version by itself like you did Disgaea 6. That was a stupid fucking move. Just release it on everything at once. Yeah.
What type of game is this? I'm looking at the screenshots. This total
It's-
damage, 1,498,950. What the fuck?
It is a turn-based strategy RPG that has insane damage numbers.
Numbers go up.
It is very numbers go up the game.
Hmm.
Like you like to see big numbers, this is the big number game for you. But yeah, the setting this time around is a Shogun style samurai era netherworld. The last game, I don't know what the setting was, but it was around zombies. The main character was a zombie. This time around, it's all about Bushido samurais, and gigantification.
Oh.
Enemies and heroes can grow into giant sizes and wage huge wars against each other. There's also massive treasure chests that can be found.
Wait. Disgaea is taking Gigantamax?
Yes. Pokemon put it down and Disgaea picked it up.
That was quite a good one, actually.
But yeah, besides that, not a lot I want to touch on for this. It's a lot of read the character backgrounds and learn about the mechanics of the game. If you're interested, definitely give it a read. I'm excited for this. I think all the characters look really cool. It's got a very nice art style to it, and the setting is very interesting to me. So this is definitely on my radar for when it comes to the West.
Sweet. At the bottom of that ginormous fucking Disgaea article, there was something that I care much more about, in that we recently celebrated Monster Hunter Rise hitting 3 million sales, but it has now hit 4 million, which is kind of nuts.
Yeah, I think every week we get reports of it selling another million.
It almost kind of feels like that, but the crazy part to me... Sorry, Steam notification popped up that the guy with 13,500 hours just jumped back into Dota 2.
Oh, no.
Get on, you champ. Don't listen to the haters.
Doing God's work.
Like, I've put a lot of time, I think, like, way almost too much of my time into Dota 2. The idea that man has 4 times my time is just obscene. Anyway, so I, for whatever reason, I thought Sunbreak launched longer ago than June 30th.
It's not even a full 2 months.
And it's done 4 million. That's really cool. That's crazy and really cool, and it means that we're gonna get an item pack, and I'm super excited.
The item packs always suck.
I know they do, but no, it's really cool that clearly there's a lot of love and support for it.
I think Rise's total number also, like in general, got bumped up to 11 million.
Wow.
I think. I don't have an article to back that up. I just think I saw that said somewhere.
It's also cool in that we're not touching it this week, but the first of the seasonal updates, Monster Hunter Rise, I haven't been back in Auckland enough, and I wanted to play something new, so that's why I've been playing Cult of the Lamb. But most likely next week, I'll have played some of seasonal update 1. I played like an hour or 2 of it before I left Auckland. The curio crafting, all that sort of stuff. Hopefully, Capcom seeing numbers like this encourages their continual investment into the game. So, better for all of us, and jokes on Babylon Fall. Anyway, next up on the list, what do we have? We have...
Steve, wake up. This one's for you.
I thought... it's not really for me. I'm semi-sleeping on this. But Death Stranding is coming to Xbox Game Pass for PC, but on August the 23rd, which is yesterday. Yeah, which is... strange, like they're making a big deal about it, but then at the same time, from my understanding, someone else has the rights to publishing on consoles, and they're not going to publish it on Xbox. But on PC, it's free for all. But that's fine. I don't know where I sit in this. Have you guys played Death Stranding?
No, I have the director's cut, and it's something I need to play, and that's what I was going to mention. PC Game Pass is getting the vanilla version of this game, not the director's cut. So it is missing content.
Well, that's like all Game Pass games. I'm pretty sure 90% of them come as like the standard editions. And there's like, well, you didn't pay for the full game. Give us $10 or $20 for the DLC / season pass. And I
guess the
how much does the director's cut add? Is it like literally 40 hours of content or something?
I'm actually not too sure how much more it adds. I know there's a whole like Metal Gear Solid themed stealth mission.
Is it good, but
more
content is not good content. Talk to our good friend with 13,000 hours on Dota 2. He'll probably tell you it's a shit game.
To be fair, Dota 2 does not have a lot of content. It's just doing the same thing over and over and over again for 13,000 hours.
Try being a human being. You get up, you go to work, you go home, doing that for fucking 60 years.
60? God, you're getting off light.
Don't forget, you started. When do you start? Like when you're 14? That's when I started. 74, I retire.
74? God, you're getting off young.
All right, fellas, settle down. Well, So there's this thing called cryptocurrency, right? And hopefully, what I've held since 2020 will be enough by 2100 to retire on.
Wait. I have something for this. Hi everyone, my name is Patrick, and it's unlikely that I'll retire for the next
Ever.
50 yeah, for the next ever.
Why do you want to retire? What are you going to do with your time? Start up another podcast? I don't think
play
so.
Dota 2.
Learn how to edit the podcast.
Oh, it's your job, big fella. I'm going to take it. I've already got a master doing it.
No, but Seth will retire.
Yeah, so someone's going to pick up once I retire.
Yeah, he'll retire from being for paid work, not for unpaid work. You never retire from unpaid work. This is volunteer work, big fella. Chuck that on the resume.
Got to stay on the grind. Got to continue to grow. Those self-improvements.
Yeah, that's why I always say no to pay rises.
Gotta stay humble.
I remember where I came from. Real recognizes real. I've always got to be going. I've always got to think that I've got to go for that next position.
The more pay rises I accept, the closer I get to the noose.
I just think back to 10-year-old Patrick, and 10-year-old Patrick would have been stoked with like $20. So I mean, really, why should I ever want to strive for more than that?
$20 full stop, not even like per week or per month.
$1 gets me a bag of candy, and that's all I need.
Yeah.
Well, not in this
Remember
economy.
back when 50 cents would buy you a fucking McDonald's ice cream?
Oh,
That still happens every now and
yeah,
then.
you still get a soft serve.
Yeah, I think
Oh,
it's
but
like,
not
I think it's
50
like
cents, you don't.
yeah, I think in
Yeah, you do.
summertime they put it down to 50 cents.
It's 50 cents. I used to work there when it was 30 cents. Man, those $1 frozen Cokes, for
They still have the
there we go.
$1 frozen Cokes, and those are good.
Just think, 10-year-old me could have bought 20 of those.
giving yourself a migraine.
Holy shit. 10-year-old me could have bought 1/4 of Dragon Ball Z The Breakers.
Now that is a testament to how much money young Patrick had.
What a waste of fucking money.
God,
what a
10-year-old
fucking
Patrick
piss
was
away.
balling out of control.
10-year-old Patrick could have spent $0 and played Dota 2.
10-year-old Patrick thought about it.
Oh, no, wait, hold on. The correction. 10-year-old Patrick would have been able to afford a quarter of what I would have paid for Dragon Ball The Breakers. It was actually $10 off from the real price.
So I look
don't
back
care,
on that,
dude.
and so I look back on that and I think, man, 10-year-old Patrick must have been just absolutely balling in cash if he could even consider superfluously spending $20 like that. So, don't worry though, because now rent's only like several $100s. So we're good. We made it.
You still have the same ecstatic euphoria of seeing $20 you can spend like you did when you were 10 years old.
Yeah, but there's like a little twinge of sadness knowing that that's all I get. The subscription fee to life keeps going up. Anyway, does this make you want to play Death Stranding, Steve?
Yeah, it's been one of those things that people have told me to play it because it's a Kojima game and what he does is very weird. And I've heard it's a decent game and the story's pretty like put the meth pipe down type of funny. So I've always sort of been interested in it. But then at the same time, I get the
But
feeling
you also have to put up with the game being a FedEx simulator.
Yeah, like that's literally what it sounds like. And there's apparently some weird interactions with like the world and other people online, and what you build, other people can see or something. I don't really get it because I haven't played the game. Every time it goes down to like $15, $20 on PlayStation, I'm like, you know what? Maybe I'll pick it up, and then I never do. But maybe I'll just once again, you just got to hold on to your seats, and everything eventually comes with Game Pass.
Do you worry that if you continue not to play this game, that it won't be Death Stranding, it'll be Death Stranded?
If I downloaded this onto my laptop will catch fire. I know that.
Bro, it's a yes or no question.
No.
Cool.
No, it wasn't a good
All
one.
right,
But
thank you. Next up on the list.
if it was Star Wars, it'd be Death Stranding.
No, but Steve, we just established they can't read. It would still be Death Stranding.
The main
And
bit.
if you're sitting down, it'd be Death Sitting.
It's actually just a typo. It's supposed to be Death Standing, but it's rated R for restricted. Right, next.
Half arrested.
God, this trailer for the PC Game Pass announcement for the game, though, just hit me like a truck because it starts with Sony Interactive Entertainment Presents and then it ends with the Microsoft logo.
Got him. Well, that's what they've got on like all the major like MLB The Show games. It's got like created by PlayStation Studios, but it's like available on on Xbox. It's
Yeah,
fucking
because
wild.
MLB is like, no, we want more money, put it on everything.
Yeah,
All I'm saying, if Harambe were alive to see this, he wouldn't have let this happen.
he wouldn't have let it happen, not in the slightest.
No,
Harambe would have stopped the console wars.
he would have. God, life would have been so much better. Why, God? Why take him? Why couldn't it have been Josh?
That's a little sad.
I'm kidding. Josh, I love you, even though I know that he probably will never listen to this, so I can get off scot-free. Anyway, next up on the list, Pokemon Scarlet and Violet, introducing what I think we can all agree to be the, finally,
The goodest boy.
well,
No.
I was gonna say the Pokemon Go-Goat transportation killer, Cyclizar Slytherin.
This is the
You
dumbest
know what?
fucking
I'm
idea.
going to fucking name it that now. Thank you, Patrick.
It's fucking dumb. It looks like a dumb. It's dumb.
Hey,
Dumb.
I
he
love the
can-
additional screenshots they did in the Pokemon website where it actually has handlebars and side mirrors attached to it.
I hate it so
Have you
fucking
seen that,
much.
Patrick?
Yeah.
No, I haven't. Oh, that's terrible, but very funny.
It's.
I will
It-
send
it-
it, and I will attach it to the video for this as well.
I love the idea that,
It also
like,
has headlights. A
Oh, those his
headlight.
eyes.
so
It's fucking
so
dumb.
normally when I think of PETA, the protection and ethical treatment of animals or whatever the fuck, I think not really for me. They're a little extremist and they go after Pokemon and I don't really understand why. Sticking handlebars and headlights on Cyclizar, okay, I can kind of see where PETA's coming from on this one.
To be fair, the Cyclizar seems to enjoy it, or rather, it just enjoys having people ride its back because it enjoys the warmth of someone
Here we
being on
are,
it.
fellas. We've done it. We can finally say our Pokemon enjoys being ridden. I hate
So
it.
there's Pokemon called Vaporeon, right?
Shut the.
Did you know that in terms of cycle ability, Cyclizar is...
On a human to bicycle ratio.
Quickly, I'm quickly typing this up to post in my work group chat.
Oh no, you don't. You keep
doing
that in the
it.
podcast group chat.
I'm doing the 80% speed run to retirement.
Why is its category Mount Pokemon?
It's 5'3". It's fucking huge.
Is Mount Pokemon a category or a command?
Ah.
I don't know about you guys, but my bike typically doesn't weigh 140 pounds. So
But does your bike also go 70 miles an hour?
sometimes I like to imagine it does, and I put like a baseball card in the back spokes, and it sounds like a motorcycle when I pedal really fast.
Oh, that was always the peak tech.
That's why I used my first generation Charizard card.
Why use your own when you can get Logan Paul's?
It's only a couple of dollars.
Yeah, true. So, do you think in like the Pokemon universe, there's like rampant bike or Cyclizar theft like there is in real life?
Got to put it on bike lock or something. Or wouldn't you just return it to your Pokeball?
I don't know. I kind of like the idea
Yeah.
of just bike locks of just a bunch of Cyclizars chilling. I'm really.
It's a
not
dumb
sure
Pokemon.
what
It's a normal fighting type. Sorry, a normal dragon type.
normal
It's-
dragon. Yeah.
It's obviously supposed to evolve into the legendaries, but
I'm really not sure what to make of Gen 9. Right? It is Gen 9.
it is Gen 9.
Yeah, cool. I'm really not sure what to make of Gen 9 going all in on Pokemon or bikes now.
No, it's not all in. Don't forget the Scarlet legendary. He runs.
Oh, true. Yeah, like why reinvent the wheel when you can just pretend it doesn't exist?
Listen,
I've said that for years.
I'm 100% convinced that the wheel on his chest isn't actually a wheel. It's just a giant tumor.
Maybe. Are we going to talk about the competitive stuff, or
No,
we
I just
wanna
wanted
leave
to
that?
keep memeing about Cyclizar.
Yeah, okay, that's fine.
No, we can talk about the new things they showed with the competitive trailer.
No, I don't really think it's needed.
I
If Josh was
still
here,
think-
he'd literally go schizo about it, but he's not, so it's fine.
I still think terrestrial Pokemon looks shit.
They do, but from like a competitive point of view, like they showed, I think it was a Tyranitar becoming a ghost type, and then a piece of shit Gallade uses a fighting type attack and it doesn't affect, and you get fucking blasted. That it literally like it will probably add a layer of randomness to competitive that is like absolutely fucking wild and horseshit. Can't wait.
I think they've got set types for the Pokemons though, so I think at some point it will be figured out what like how many variants there are for the competitive edge. In saying that, there's not going to be any way around it. Like you cannot you cannot make like a one-on-one situation that'll cover every single type of terrestrialized Gallade, for example.
We'll have to wait and see.
Because the flying type Pikachu, the one that's on balloons, that's pre-order only. And they're saying it's only going to be through pre-order. You can't get it in the game. So that's going to lead me to believe that there's only going to be a limited amount of like different variants you can get.
Oh,
I thought,
damn it!
yeah,
I just remembered that I didn't get Victini on Sword and
unlucky.
Unlucky. Yeah, got back from well, I arrived home the day after that code expired. Oh well.
I got one for you. Well, I got one for me. I can give you a normal Victini if you want.
It's not the same.
Yeah, it's not the same. Sorry, man. Better luck next time.
I'm gonna sadly ride my Cyclozar home now.
All right. Anyway.
Do you think if you terrestrialize a Cyclozar to electric, you have an electric bike?
Like a Rotom bike, if you would.
But isn't it running on natural ability anyway?
Oh.
Like isn't it already 100% eco-friendly? In fact, wouldn't making it electric make it worse for the environment?
Can we move on now?
Only if Patrick's done with the question.
Steve, we need to know.
Do we?
Do Cyclozars go to bike shops and get their tires changed?
It's like horseshoes.
I just also want to shout out that my favorite thing from Cyclozar so far is this piece of fan art that's Misty carrying a Cyclozar, and the description is "You owe me a new Cyclozar," going off the anime episode.
Yeah, that one's pretty good.
Shout outs to @StartsBoy1 on Twitter for that amazing piece of art.
Yeah, no, we can move on now, Steve. Don't worry. We'll move on to
Finally.
We'll move on to something which might be just as memeable. Seth, what are your thoughts on? Well, you and I both enjoy. We're both based Gravity Rush enjoyers. What would your thoughts be if Sony were to suddenly announce that they were going to do a Gravity Rush movie?
There is only one way that this could have been panned out in a very good and positive way, and Sony already fucked it up. So,
okay, explain how.
So, my vision would be give it to Sony Animation, make it 3D animated, give it like not the same art style as the games, but like go in that direction, make it quirky and cute. Even then, as a movie, I think it would have sucked. Make it like a 4-episode long OVA sort of thing, like each episode's like half an hour or 40 minutes. Make it like 75% Cat's slice of life adventures where it's all fun and character driven, and then the last 25% you go into that weird esoteric darker side of the Gravity Rush storyline. That would have been the positive way to handle this. Instead, it seems like they're going to be going in the direction of making a live-action movie because they're working with Ridley Scott's company, which has done nothing but live-action movies. They're working with Scott Free Productions.
He's going to get off scot-free.
And I am instantly tapping out of this movie. It stands no chance of living up to any goodwill for me.
But what if Cat's voiced by Chris Pratt?
That would be so weird in live action. like you got an actress
it's a
for
yes
Cat.
or no question.
We don't know though. I'm just saying it'd be weird to have this live action actress playing Cat, and then just out of her mouth comes Chris Pratt's voice.
Hey, that's the voice of Mario and Garfield, I'll have you know.
Is that something you're into, Patrick? It's a yes or no question.
My therapist tells me that I should stop asking those and answering those yes and no questions. Yeah, I don't know what to make. I want to give it the benefit of the doubt because I think there's a lot of material in the Gravity Rush universe that could be good for non-game media, right? But I think I agree in that slice of lifestyle character-driven adventures is probably a more digestible form of it too, right? Because
yeah, like 90% of Gravity Rush 2 is Cat's slice of life adventures of trying to help people.
Yeah, and I guess the part that I'm not really clear on is what Sony wants out of this, because they haven't announced a Gravity Rush 3, right?
No, in fact, the people that were directly involved in making the Gravity Rush games aren't at Sony anymore.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
They've gone and made their own studio called Bokeh Game Studio.
I don't really
or
see
Bokeh Productions.
what the end game of Sony is here, because
They're just licensing out a bunch of their IPs to do random different things. I think God of War is getting a TV series. Gran Turismo is getting a movie. I think they also announced a Days Gone movie is happening.
Why, wait, okay, I can understand all of those, except why is Gran Turismo getting a movie?
I don't know. I think it's going to be a movie following like a Gran Turismo player, like a professional player.
You ever seen that Need for Speed movie? That was alright. With Aaron Walker.
Surely it's just a movie, but it's just watching the day-night transition that they were so proud of when they announced GT6.
That'd be alright, I'd watch that actually. Actually, I'd have it on in the background while I'm doing something else.
120 minutes of just staring at the sky over some world-famous racetrack.
Does it have a jazz soundtrack?
For Gran Turismo... For a Gran Turismo movie,
voiced by Chris Pratt.
Yes.
Yeah, for the Gran Turismo movie, I could see them doing it like I'm sorry, Stephen, I have to bring it up because it's an actual example. I could see them doing it like the Final Fantasy 14 movie where it was
15.
No, 14. It was
a movie for Final Fantasy 14?
Not like a movie. It was called Dad of Light, and it was a movie about how the game brought a father and son together through bonding through the game and like actually starting to like build up their relationship by playing it together. So the game was like the sticking glue of the story for the movie, but it was more of a father-son story than anything.
I don't know. I still think the idea of just 120 hours of Skybox, 120 minutes. Oh, no, actually, no, I'll stand by what I said. 120 hours of Skybox footage would be a pretty sick movie.
You know what? Let's go 13,000.
Jesus. Oh. Yeah, it'd probably be alright.
we gotta ramp up those Dota numbers.
Software? Yeah. Yeah, it's a Dota 2 movie, but it's not about anything in Dota. It's completely unreal. Yeah, it's completely unrelated to Dragon's Blood. It's just the main menu. And people analyzing patch notes.
While the main menu music is in the background. Just on a second tab.
Yeah, and then every so often it'll get spliced in with the Deadmau5 sound pack. That was what I used to use back in the day. Actually some real bops in there. Anyway, Steve, a question for you.
That's me.
Do you know how to make a video game?
You know what? For the sake of throwing off your train of thought, I will say that's all I have to say about that.
Well,
Stephen, it was a yes or no question.
It's funny that you should say that. Because, Sakurai himself is willing to help you. We've got him on the other line right now, Steve.
Is he in the room with us now?
Well, he is.
He's in his room.
So long as you type in the URL to his YouTube channel.
What's the
I actually
URL?
find this really interesting. Like, behind the scenes videos are always really interesting, and like now Sakurai, one of the most acclaimed video game developers ever, like going onto YouTube, making his own series about like his thought processes and decision making processes for making his games is really interesting. He's got 3 videos up at the moment. One of them's just what the channel is going to be about. The other one's going through his creative works from the beginning of his career to now. And then the third one is it's called Stop for Big Moments, and I think this is just like talking about hit stop in games and the decisions between when hit stop should hit, like, well, when it should activate and how long it should activate, and just like the effects of what hit stop does for a game. So yeah, those are interesting videos.
There are three things. There are three things that I want to point out here. One, Sakurai's YouTube channel isn't like, Sakurai was here or Sakurai in it or even just Dream 2. The channel name is actually just Masahiro Sakurai on Creating Games, which, like, when you think of SEO, perfect. It's so unique that it couldn't possibly get confused in the algorithm with anyone else on Creating Games. The second thing I want to point out, these three videos released, all, like, as of recording, all released 9 hours ago. The first one about this channel is the longest one at 7 minutes 10 and has 117,000 views. The next two, one is 2.5 minutes, one is 4 minutes 20, and both of them together have basically the same view count as the About This channel, despite being like half the length.
I also think that's because he advertised the channel with the About This channel video, so everyone looking on Twitter and Facebook and wherever else it was advertised were sent directly to that video, which would have bumped the numbers up.
This is actually really interesting because I'm reading the Reggie Fils-Aimé book that just came out, and he's sort of talking about it from a marketing point of view and his sort of journey through Nintendo. So that's sort of like the business point of view. The Sakurai is like the making games point of view. Where's Smash? But where's Smash 6, 5?
Let the man rest. He's worked on Smash since 2012, like non-stop. He deserves a rest from Smash Brothers.
So he's going to be making YouTube videos, eh?
Yeah.
He's going to be making a podcast?
This is basically a one-man podcast show for him.
You reckon? Have you guys watched anything yet of this?
I am watching one of them right now, the one about Hit Stop.
What are you talking about? You should be fucking watching us.
I mean, I'm watching it to talk about the news properly.
Oh. Okay, I'm done.
Cool. Well, so is Sakurai with Smash. Anyway, next up on the list.
Okay, that was a good one. That's one of the top 10 transitions of all time.
It's definitely one of the transitions of all time. Next up on the list, Sony PlayStation VR 2 is going to launch early 2023, and I love this because it's an article from Gematsu. I'll read you every piece of text in the article. PlayStation VR 2 launches in early 2023. Release window set for PlayStation's next-gen virtual reality headset. PlayStation VR 2 will launch early in 2023. Sony Interactive Entertainment announced. The new virtual reality headset will be compatible with PlayStation 5. Further details were not announced.
The announcement was literally
simple,
just PlayStation.
It's simple, it's elegant. Love it.
Yeah, the announcement was just literally every single PlayStation social media account posting a picture of PlayStation VR 2 and coming early 2023. No other information. It was just that.
And really, why
the Chad meme? Yeah, well, what's there to say?
It's simple, to the point. We understand.
None of that fluff, including technical detail or anything more than a 2023 release window.
Not even a price. Who needs that?
No. That'll come later. Next up in the list, we have. So this one's kind of interesting. This one, I've heard reported from multiple places, but I don't know what the initial spark of this was. It's that speaking of Sony, not only have they announced that in 2023 they'll be releasing PSVR 2, but it's possible that in 2023 they're also going to have to pay out $5 billion.
£5 billion, yeah, across the UK.
Oh, pounds. Yeah.
For, quote, ripping people off.
Yeah, so this I find interesting. I don't think there's a huge amount of nuanced takes that we could give on this.
I don't think a lot of the claims hold as much ground as the people making the accusations think it does.
Yeah, that was kind of my beat on it. So the whole thing alleges that Sony's making too much of a profit off of the 30% commission that they get on all in-game purchases / digital sales through their store. Which, whatever your feelings about that are,
I
that's
do
kind
think
of
the
how-
30% is too high, but that is also kind of the standard. I believe Steam, Microsoft, and Nintendo also do 30%. The only one that doesn't is Epic. I could be wrong about that. 30% is usually the number I hear going around. And yeah, it's too high. That's just generally like they're cut from the retail price though. It's not like their 30% is adding to the retail price.
Yeah, it'd be interesting to see what happens with that.
Yeah, I
Because-
reckon it's probably one of those things like nothing will come of it and it'll slowly fade away.
Well, because the thing is that this is done as sort of a class action style, which means that if it goes through, people could be entitled to somewhere between £67 and £560. But even if this does go through, I don't really. There was one similar case of this with Rocket League actually, because it had infringed on one of the loot box policies in an EU country. I don't remember which one, and all that meant was that you as a user in Rocket League that had made a purchase over that time, you were entitled to some equivalent amount of in-game currency. I just don't see how Sony can just hand back.
It'd
Well,
be
I don't
through
see Sony-
PlayStation credit. PlayStation
that's
Store
what I'm
credit.
saying. That's what I'm saying. Is that even if this goes through, I don't see that Sony really loses anything here.
I think, and this will be the funniest outcome to me, is somehow from this class action lawsuit, a lot of this is like, oh hey, Sony is monopolizing the PlayStation Store on their console, which is an odd claim to say the least. You can very much twist it around to go, yes, you're right, because they're the only digital storefront on the PlayStation itself. There are other ways to get digital codes outside of the PlayStation Store, though. But to me, the funniest outcome would be is if like they somehow go, okay, you know what? You have to start adding other digital storefronts to the PlayStation consoles, and this goes around to the other consoles where it's like, okay, Xbox, you also need to have other storefronts on your console too. PC gets away with it because they have Steam, they have Uplay, they have Epic.
Uplay. Games for Windows Live.
No, Games for Windows Live no longer exists, thank the Lord.
The Steam
But-
killer.
Yeah. But yeah, it'd be really funny to me if it's like, okay, Sony, you need to put Steam on your console now. You also need to do the Xbox store. Just put everything has to go onto those stores now, and you need to support them.
Yeah. Anyway,
Cool.
cool. Interested to see what happens with that. And
Yeah, definitely.
finally, on the list for this episode, we have a bunch of news from Gamescom.
Woo, a
the
list.
Yeah, we're not going through the whole list. The main thing I want to point out is that for us Sonic Frontier fans out there, the
All
game
three
is
of you?
officially
The game officially has a trailer.
true and is slated to be released November 8th.
That's much sooner than what I thought it was going to be.
Everyone dunk on that.
No,
the
it's
other one-
about what I expected. They kept saying this year, and November makes sense.
Mm.
The other one that I'm excited for is that the new Tales from the Borderlands. So this one I am surprised. We knew that it was coming. They've given us a reveal trailer, and it's coming out October 21st, which I guess now that I say it out loud is 2 months away. For some reason I thought that we were already in September. So the fact that that's only 2 months away is interesting, and hopefully will give me enough time to play Tales from Borderlands 1 again in preparation for it.
It took a lot of balls to have Randy Pitchford up on stage.
He could have
Yeah.
Is
done
that really-
anything.
Was he really up there on stage?
Yeah, Randy Pitchford was 100% up on stage with Jeff Keighley talking about this game.
Jesus
it
fucking.
was not a repeat
Christ.
of his medieval times shenanigans.
Did he try wet willying Jeff Keighley?
I think there was a magic trick involved. He made his dignity disappear.
Oh.
Yeah, but that's not really a magic trick. I know exactly how he did that.
He was Randy Pitchford.
Yeah. I've seen through the magician's code for that trick. Try again. Any of these that you wanted to pick out?
I'll let Steve go first
either
because I might have a couple I want to pick out.
Like Lords of the Fallen looks pretty good. That was pretty
The
much
Lords of the Fallen.
the original game's called Lords of the Fallen. They're calling it a reboot, or but it's
They got
essentially
rid of the number
sequel.
2 from the sequel.
Yeah, it's essentially a sequel. I don't know what the fuck's going on there. It's a Dark Souls clone essentially. It was one of the first ones, in my mind anyway, that was actually sort of like good. Tales from the Borderlands that leaked out earlier this week. That sounds sick. I love the first Tales of the Borderlands game. It sort of depends on. It's coming out soon, like in October 21st, I think. So it's coming out very soon. I'm very excited for that.
Wow, that's crazy. Did you not hear it when I said it, or you just wanted to hear your own voice say it again?
No, I thought Seth said which ones I'm excited for.
Bro, it's a yes or no question.
Patrick, what did your therapist say about yes or no questions?
Sorry.
No.
Yeah.
That's pretty much High on Life. I saw the trailer for that as well. That's that Rick and Morty.
Yeah,
creator.
I thought that was a bit much.
That game is it's going to be one of those things. Like there's going to be like 3 or 4 funny memes that come out of it, and the rest of the game is going to be like, okay, shut the fuck up.
Yeah,
Like-
and literally the entire trailer for that was me going, okay, shut the fuck up.
Yeah, like am I going to play it? Yes, but only because it's on Game Pass.
Yeah, that's
but
right. It is day one Game Pass, and I think it's just Xbox and PC.
Game Pass, baby. And that Park Beyond, that theme park sort of, it's calling itself an amusement park simulator.
But it's
But
a
I'm
roller
not sure.
coaster tycoon sim.
Yeah, but there was one that was like hyper realistic, Planet Coaster, that came out a while ago, and that it was just roller coaster on steroids, but it went too much into the nitty gritty, I thought. So hopefully this one sort of, maybe because I'm playing 2 Point Campus at the moment, I just sort of like being chill and not having to worry about a fail state. But let's sort of see. I love theme park simulator games. I love theme parks. Fun fact about me: cannot get enough of them.
Yeah, theme parks are pretty cool.
Not fucking pretty
haven't
cool.
been-
I love them.
I haven't been to
love
too
theme
many
parks.
in my life. I think the last
Oh.
time I went to a theme park, I was like 14.
All right, we're going to Luna Park. Let's
Luna
go.
Park was the last one I went to too.
All right, let's go.
All right, I'll pack my bags.
Do they have New Luna Park in New Zealand? Pat, do they even have amusement parks in New Zealand?
We have Rainbow's End.
Rainbow. Is that the Rainbow Warrior reference?
Wow.
That sounds like sick. There's a roller coaster there.
I'm
I'm always jealous of roller coasters because Luna Park doesn't have one. God, I
Yeah,
love
that
roller
reference.
coasters so much.
Roller
we
coasters are
have
pretty
a-
sick.
We have a couple other amusement parks, but the Rainbow's End is sort of the main one.
So I've clicked on, I googled Rainbow's End, and it comes up with a bunch of unicorns at the start. Is this a My Little Pony fan page? Look, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter.
Patrick,
Next
is
time
there
I'm
something you want to tell us?
Next time I'm there, I'm in
is
Auckland.
that a yes or no
Are we-
question?
Okay.
Maybe.
No, I'm done.
So my list is going to be more exhaustive than either of them because there's a couple of things I want to shit on. There was this game announced called Everywhere. It was by ex-Rockstar developers. It looked really weird. They started off the trailer with a bunch of concept art, then it started going into like, here's all these different biomes and gameplay styles and just a mishmash of things. And then the developers started talking about how they wanted to make the game very community focused. The community is going to build up the game. The community is going to do this. The community is going to do that. And it was setting off all sorts of red flags for me. And it's like, this doesn't sound good or has direction. It's a metaverse game. It's an NFT game. It's instantly on the shit list.
Yeah, boy.
Also, the name Everywhere is so stupid for a game, and especially when it's everywhere, but the last E is a free. Everything about this sucks. Don't have a lot to say about it, but Dune is getting a open world survival MMO, which is pretty interesting. It seems like they're just going all in on the Dune IP now. That they can. Sony is doing the DualSense Edge. The DualSense is now going to edge you because it is now getting its own Elite controller to compete with the Xbox Elite controller. Callisto Protocol, I am super excited about. I love Dead Space 1 and 2. I never played 3, but
Missing
having...
out.
What was that?
You're missing out.
I'll get to 3 at some point.
No, you won't.
Yeah, probably not. No, I really having the creator of the first Dead Space coming back and doing a spiritual successor is really cool. The combat gameplay they showed off in this trailer was fantastic, and it is super gory. They end off the trailer with showing the main character getting sliced in half, and I remember Dead Space 1 having a lot of brutal kills, and this is going a notch even further. I'm super excited for this. Yeah, I'll bring it up since Steven didn't mention it. Hogwarts Legacy got a new story trailer.
I knew you'd bring it up.
It's showing a lot of the dark magic stuff that's going to be going on. And making mention of Salazar Slytherin. Maybe this is a Slytherin exclusive storyline. It was a very short trailer, and you couldn't glean a lot of information from it besides, hey, dark arts and dark magic is bad and forbidden, and you mess around with the dark arts and you fucked around and found out. They also said that the Switch version is coming at a later point compared to the other consoles. That's not a good look to me. I think that the Switch version probably might not come out if it's going to be pushed back like that. They also announced a release date with this, didn't they? I think
they did it earlier this week or last week. I think it's like February or something.
Yeah, February 8th or something. Around there.
Let me know when they've got a date for when it's going to be 70% off. You know what? Actually, there's like they announced the deluxe edition as well. It is literally fucking $500, and you get like early access plus a couple of other bullshit things.
And a wand, which is like the only physical thing there, I think.
It's $500.
Yeah, it's insane.
Oh, yikes!
Dying Light 2 got its first expansion showed off.
Don't care.
I'm kind of keen for this because I just got Dying Light 2. Thank you, Trinity, for getting that for my birthday.
Hang on. Dead Island.
No, Dying Light. This is the first person parkour one.
We spoke about this in the break, and I'm still confused. Never mind.
We will get to Dead Island later. You know what probably confuses you about this? Dying Light is made by the people that made the first Dead Island. And then
is it? I don't care.
And now Dead Island 2 is being made by someone else.
You can just hear in that gap the sound of Steve's like brain trying to figure it out, gives up, don't care.
Yeah.
On.
Yeah.
There was like an exasperated noise as his brain was ticking. Yeah, like Patrick mentioned before, Sonic Frontiers got a trailer and a release date. Finally, a trailer for this game that actually makes this look like a game that functions. Goat Simulator 3 got its gameplay shown off and its November 17 release date. I think that looks fantastic. Subnautica developers showed off a game called Moonbreaker. This is a minifig game that's like a turn-based tactical RPG competitive game, I think. It looks really cool, and they're leaning heavily on the minifig aesthetic, and to the point where you can repaint all of the figurines yourself and make them look how you want them to look, and I think that's really fucking cool. Coming into early access at the end of September. Yeah, I'm going to keep an eye out on that. And then I think it's just... Yeah, scrolling through this, I think it's just, I don't want to shit on Gotham Knights. It gets shit on enough.
Yeah, we'll see how that comes out.
All right. Hideo Kojima announced that he was threatened by the Fast Travel Lounge and is now starting his own podcast to compete with us.
Sounds based.
It is exclusive to Spotify and will be releasing September 8th.
And you know, we should clarify our position. It's fine so long as he doesn't get sponsored by Krispy Kreme.
We have not said the K word this whole podcast.
Yeah, he snuck it in right at the end.
Very good, Pat. We've hit our quota. One donut.
And then right at the end of the show was Dead Island 2 was shown off. Release date is February 3. They showed off a CGI trailer, then a gameplay trailer, which was just a bunch of cuts of like very graphic and brutal scenes. I want to see like actual proper gameplay before I can get fully excited for this. But the first Dead Island was fine, so I'm keen to see what Dead Island 2 is like. And yeah, that's my list for Gamescom done.
Finally. What do I reckon?
Right. Well, not only is that list done, but our list of news is done for this week.
Da-na-na-na-na.
Charge!
What did we win, Steve? What were the quest rewards?
Man, you really put me on the spot with this. The rewards were the chance to listen to me continue to talk and bumble around.
You get a free copy of the $500 edition of Hogwarts Legacy.
No one should. If you know what? If anybody buy $500, at least you got fucking rocks in your head. I don't
$500
understand.
is the price of a console, I think, at the moment.
A bit more, actually. I think $750 for the next gen, but like for like the old generation, like the Xbox One X's and the PS4 Pros, I don't see. Boggles the mind. $500.
500 is
10-year-old.
way too much for a game, and that's coming from someone that spent $350 on Final Fantasy 15.
10-year-old Patrick would have been so stoked to get $500.
Do you know how much I would have bought for $500 as a 10-year-old? I would have probably bought like 5 games for $100.
I could have just like I could have had assistance, right? Like child slavery laws don't really apply as like when you are the child employer as well. Like I could have had an entire crew.
Is that how it works?
I assume so. Does it
do
not?
you know how
I don't
many
know.
games Steven could buy with all his penny pinching?
Yeah, literally like $1 million. So I'm just looking at the EB Games advertisement for it. It's a floating. It's a wand with a floating. It's a floating wand.
Do you want to put the picture in the podcast chat?
Not really, but I will because you called me out.
Not really.
I mean, I can just do it myself because I'm
Too
looking
late.
at it
I
as well.
posted it. I posted it. How funny! It's a picture of Goatsy. I should have done that. That'd have been funny.
I would have been extremely upset if it was. you would have gotten me. You would have gotten me really good if it was Goatsy.
I guess I'm just a little confused by what I'm looking at because what I'm looking at does not equate to like $500.
You're right. It doesn't,
You get
Why
72.
would- But
It's
why
probably
would it be $500, Seth? I don't get it.
because Warner Brothers knows that Harry Potter is a money milking machine.
okay. I'm upset now. Call us out.
Right. Well, moving on from the news for this week, we have an audience question sent to the mailbag, posturevalounge@gmail.com. It's from Google and says, help strengthen the security of your Google account. So, boys, what are your thoughts on 2FA? I'm for, personally.
2FA is pretty cool, but if we activate 2FA on our podcast email, it's going to lock everyone else out besides the person that's got a 2FA.
Looks like it's a race to to who's going to enable it first. I'm a big fan of 4FA.
That
want
sounds like a
someone-
lot of hoops to jump through.
want someone-
Extra secure.
4FA, Steve.
Someone texts me. Someone calls me. Someone knocks on my door to confirm my identity.
And
if
someone
I'm
gets your
like-
mum's credit card number.
Someone calls mum. Is your son trying to log into Instagram? I don't know. Probably. Sold.
All right, that's good enough for me.
But the question is, Steve, where do you live? How do we know that you're living in the right address?
Well, I recently moved. Good point.
Like we have your address actually, Seth.
Do
if
you
could
have
just
to
stick
go
that-
through? Do you have to go through 4FA to change your address? And is one of the steps going to your old address to confirm that you moved?
That's actually true.
Does it get locked up from you changing your address because they can't confirm that you're at your old address?
Okay, no joke. I had to get into my bloody iCloud account recently because someone sent some stuff that I could only he sent it via an iCloud share link, so I had to get back into my iCloud. Now, this thing I never touch. I barely use anything on Apple. So when I go to log in, I use a password that I thought was the right one. Oh no, it's the wrong password. That's fine. I, forget my password every so often because of like Apple TV and other bits and pieces. It's fine. I'll just create a new one. It'll be fine. Create a new password. It goes absolutely fine. Creating a new password, absolutely fine. I go to log in. This account has been locked due to security concerns. Please enter 2 of your security question answers. And the two questions were like, well, I know these. I mean, obviously you should know all of them, but it's like these are zero ambiguity questions. I know exactly what answers I would have put down for these. Both wrong. Okay. Can I reset my security questions? Sure. Just go to Patrick's iPod. Okay. I haven't used an iPod in 5 years. Have to go find Patrick's iPod to reset my fucking security questions to get into my iCloud account. I found the iPod, had to find a charger for the iPod, had to charge it for an hour because it had been dead because it hadn't been used for 5 years. So long story short, to check that someone was able to send some video files to me, it was a 90-minute process to get back into my iCloud account.
Jesus Christ.
3FA is no joke.
So, you probably don't know the answer to this offhand, but I'm betting the failed security question was as simple as you just forgetting capitalization.
Nope, tried it both ways.
Oh, damn, okay.
Yeah.
Because I know security questions get really stupid about that.
Yeah, that's what I thought it was. So I understand why they did it this way, but it was really frustrating that because you had to answer 2 of them, I assume when I created the answers, I capitalized them all the same way. But the fact that it told me both were incorrect, I assume it would tell me that if either of them were incorrect, rather than you got this one right, you got this one wrong.
But it just tells you both were wrong.
Exactly, yeah. Which meant that it's a security question. Doesn't really matter. One of the security questions was the name of your childhood best friend, and
was it the guy trying to send you the video?
Well, that's the thing, is that there are a few people that it could have been. Me making the security question at the time, I know unambiguously, at least I think, who it would have been. So either my recollection of my best friend has changed, or it was the other security question that I was getting wrong. But it was bloody frustrating in either case. Anyway, hopefully that answers your question, Google. Actually, we didn't get the yay or nay from Steve.
Yay from me.
Yay from Steve.
That is a yes or no question.
Fine, I'll go increase our security on our Google account.
Wait, no, stop.
I
will log it to my phone number.
What happens if you change your phone?
Need that to...
I've had the same phone number for 12 years now, maybe even longer.
All right, Granddad.
So Seth, if you could just stick your address in the chat, that way we know which address you're locking it to.
Yeah, sure, why not?
Put in the video version.
To be safe, you should probably stick. Okay, so what you've done is you put Steve's address in the chat, which wasn't what I asked for, but
oh, sorry. Here, let me put in my credit card details.
No, just take a picture of your mom's
I hear you
credit
typing
card.
gibberish.
I'm not typing gibbering because I just type very fast.
Your credit card number doesn't have any numbers in it.
Sure it does. It has a 5, an 8, a 4. There's a couple of 3s in there. More than a couple. I'll admit the G being in there is a bit weird.
Bro, did you get scammed out of credit cards again?
That's the 4th time this month.
Actually, you know what?
You make it sound like a common occurrence.
Yeah, put
it's
your
not that
CVC
common.
code. Put your CVC code in chat. We need to check that you haven't been scammed.
That is almost a coherent word.
That one just says go fuck yourself.
It's close.
Right. Well, anyway, hopefully that answers your question, Google. If you or someone you know has a question you'd like us to answer, get in touch. We're on Facebook at Fast Travel Lounge, Twitter at Fast Travel Lounge -1 of the L's, or on good old Gmail mailbag, which is of course where Google sent that totally not automated security alert. fasttravellounge@gmail.com. Please guys give us a like on your favorite podcast platform and a review or comment if you can. All interactions help boost our voices within the algorithm and bring us one step closer to being the preferred gaming and pop culture news podcast sponsored by Krispy Kreme. With that, we come to the end of episode 38? Yeah, 38. about to lose it halfway through there. Anything big that people can look forward to next week from either of you?
I am playing What Remains of Edith Finch on a recommendation from Josh.
And partially me. I enjoy parts of what that game did.
Yeah, I enjoy parts of that game as well. Anyway, I'll talk about that next week.
I am chewing through 5 games at the moment, so I will work my way through everything eventually over the course of the podcast. 2 shows as well, so I got a lot to talk about.
Why don't you just do one at a time?
That would be a smart thing to do. We've been together on this podcast for almost a year. You know I'm not that smart.
Fuck, has it been a year?
Almost.
Whew.
In some ways, it's disappointing that it's almost been a year, and we've done these almost weekly, but we're only at 38 instead of closer to 50.
We did take a whole month off.
We did.
Did we?
did.
Oh, we did too. Yeah.
We took like a month and a half off because of Christmas, and then January being a clusterfuck.
And in 2 or 3 episodes from now, we'll have to take another month off, or alternatively, find a new host for a couple weeks, because I will not be able to do any episodes. But
I didn't know that, but I might be in the same boat. I might go traveling for a bit. Let's see if our schedules line up.
And we'll have to come back and kick off Fast Travel Lounge Season 2. Looking forward to it.
Seasons.
I will hopefully be a few more hours into Cult of the Lamb, and maybe have an update for the first of the monthly updates for Sunbreak. But we will have to wait and see with where we get to for those. But until then, I've been Patrick. I've been joined by Seth and Steve. Hopefully Josh back next week. But until next time, see you later.
Bye, everyone, and happy birthday to my comprehensive car insurance policy. Fuck you.